Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, if any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you disclose that information in any way, all of it needs to be destroyed now. But if you disclose it in any way, it's going to put me in a position where I will have to withdraw from the case. If you all choose to go on the internet and try to publicize this stuff, that's going to create real problems.
Okay.
You can't do it, is what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay. If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you disclose that information in any way, all of it needs to be destroyed now. But if you disclose it in any way, it's going to put me in a position where I will have to withdraw from the case. If you all choose to go on the internet and try to publicize this stuff, that's going to create real problems.
Okay.
You can't do it, is what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay. If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you disclose that information in any way, all of it needs to be destroyed now. But if you disclose it in any way, it's going to put me in a position where I will have to withdraw from the case. If you all choose to go on the internet and try to publicize this stuff, that's going to create real problems.
Okay.
You can't do it, is what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay. If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you disclose that information in any way, all of it needs to be destroyed now. But if you disclose it in any way, it's going to put me in a position where I will have to withdraw from the case. If you all choose to go on the internet and try to publicize this stuff, that's going to create real problems.
Okay.
You can't do it, is what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay. If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you disclose that information in any way, all of it needs to be destroyed now. But if you disclose it in any way, it's going to put me in a position where I will have to withdraw from the case. If you all choose to go on the internet and try to publicize this stuff, that's going to create real problems.
Okay.
You can't do it, is what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay. If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you disclose that information in any way, all of it needs to be destroyed now. But if you disclose it in any way, it's going to put me in a position where I will have to withdraw from the case. If you all choose to go on the internet and try to publicize this stuff, that's going to create real problems.
Okay.
You can't do it, is what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay. If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay. If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you disclose that information in any way, all of it needs to be destroyed now. But if you disclose it in any way, it's going to put me in a position where I will have to withdraw from the case. If you all choose to go on the internet and try to publicize this stuff, that's going to create real problems.
Okay.
You can't do it, is what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay. If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay. If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you disclose that information in any way, all of it needs to be destroyed now. But if you disclose it in any way, it's going to put me in a position where I will have to withdraw from the case. If you all choose to go on the internet and try to publicize this stuff, that's going to create real problems.
Okay.
You can't do it, is what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay. If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet.
This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Carroll Weimer, you are under the microscope. Today we had a Brady motion filed in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. 18 Brady violations were filed into the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Now, before we jump into the what happened today, I want to thank Mohammed for being here. Mohammed, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Mohammed wasn't there today. Believe you're still trespassed.
It's a work in progress.
But Mohammed took really good notes. And we're going to have... Now, you ask, how did he take notes if he's not there? He took notes. And we're going to have a conversation with Mohammed about what took place in the 18 Brady violation in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. And the question is Judge Carroll Weimer an impartial judge in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case? The community is the deciding factor. Is Judge Carroll Weimer waking up to a reality that the prosecution have falsified the whole entire case? I mean, Mustafa, this case has been ongoing for 2.5 years. Mustafa is in solitary confinement without a trial. 2.5 years in a county jail without a trial. And the presiding judge is Judge Carroll Weimer. And you want to tell me 2.5 years later, this judge is just waking up to a reality that, hey, there's something here that the prosecution have falsified the whole entire case. Today, Judge Weimer got to hear that this vehicle is crushed and staged by the police department, that the prosecution refused and violated a judge order to reconstruct this vehicle. They blocked the reconstruction of the vehicle. That the children, Mustafa's girlfriend has children, a 9, a 10, a 14, a 16. Were those children weaponized against Mustafa? Judge Weimer got to hear that today. Where was Judge Weimer for the past 2.5 years? Judge Weimer got to hear that Mustafa's statement were falsified. Judge Weimer got to hear that the dash camera in Mustafa's vehicle, Mustafa's dash camera, is cut and muted by the police department. Specifically, Officer Chad Mason testified to that. We're going to go over the 18 Brady violation that was argued today by Mustafa's defense attorney, Brad Haywood. And the question that we're gonna get to the bottom of, is this judge impartial in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case? Is he waking up to a reality that this police department falsified this case, that the prosecution have falsified this case, using police officer who falsified this case? Is he waking up to that reality 2.5 years later? Or is this judge completely complicit? Now, I'm still struggling with, is the judge completely complicit? Or is he waking up to a reality that this case has been falsified by Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, Prosecutor Sarah Sami, Prosecutor, what's her name, Buck?
Stephanie Buck.
Stephanie Buck. Prosecutor, what's his name, Mallet?
Christian Mallet.
Christian Mallet. There's multiple prosecutors. But the head prosecutor is Prosecutor Sarah Sami. And the reason I'm struggling with is this judge waking up to a reality and he's just now finding out that this case is falsified. I mean, he got to approve 18 Brady violation. He approved it. And they're moving forward. Now, is this judge just finding out, or is he complicit? And the reason I'm struggling with it is because when it came down to releasing the communication of Prosecutor Sarah Sami with the police, he denied it. Judge Carroll Weimer doesn't want anybody to find out what Prosecutor Sarah Sami said to the police. What kind of communication did she have with the police? How does that make any sense? You approved 18 Brady violations that Prosecutor Sarah Sami is directly communicating with the police and knows about these Brady violations for the past 2.5 years. And you're going to block the release of her communication with the police? As a matter of fact, we're left at the discretion of the prosecutor to go back to the police department and find out if there's anything there. And we're going to get into those details. And the deciding factor is the community. I mean, they're terrified from this channel because we're communicating to the community what is going on in this case. They've had a lawyer out of Warren County come after me, and that miserably failed. Commonwealth Amy Ashworth used a lawyer out of Warren County to shut down this channel, only for her to find out you cannot shut down this channel. And we're still here. I walk into circuit court, and I find a whole entire file. They're building a whole entire case on me because I'm telling the community the details that are coming out of this case, and it stinks. The details stink.
They have a whole file on you?
A whole entire file.
Just you?
Pictures I mean, I'll tell you.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
I see the points you made about Judge Carroll Weimer. I see the points you made about Weimer, and even though he approved all these Brady motions, these violations, but you say he denied approving the release of Sarah Sami's communication.
I mean, that's flat out protecting the prosecutor in the police department.
Okay. Here's where it becomes relevant. She said, I don't know what she says. She says something like, according to the notes, She says that it's private or something because it has something to do with safety concerns.
Well, she specifically told the judge, Your Honor, is dangerous that if we bring in these officers and question them about what they told each other, what I told them, what they told me, that is dangerous to probe into these investigators. And at one point, the judge asked her, what do you mean is dangerous? Are you being threatened? She said, Your Honor, I'm not being threatened by the police. I'm threatened by the family. What do you mean?
Which family?
I mean,
Mustafa's family?
Mustafa's family. Now this is relevant because Brad Haywood, Mustafa's defense attorney, just got done arguing to Judge Weimer that this prosecutor Sarah Sami, is biased. And she's demonstrated that she's biased for the past 2.5 years. And she's biased because at one point she filed a motion against you, the brother of Mustafa al-Jazari, that you had bought an AR-15 with 1,000 bullet. 1,000 rounds.
That she retracted.
That she retracted later. And then she said the mother had assaulted her. And of course, she doesn't have any evidence. She's not presenting any.
So she retracted.
So basically, she retracted it. So
where's
and
this
now
threat?
and the defense attorney is making a point that if the prosecution is biased against Mustafa and his family, this is ground for her to be kicked off the case. Now,
I mean, she's 100% biased. She's
Now-
standing there defending the police, by the way, who are sitting right behind her.
now she
Is that not accurate?
So when- exactly.
Internal affairs
absolutely
and almost 10 administrators from the police department
absolutely.
are sitting in the back right behind Sarah Sami as she's attempting to save their reputation. Okay.
You
and
walk
she's
in.
sitting there shaking as she's saying she's not in fear for her life from the police as they're sitting right behind her.
And then she turns around. She tells him, absolutely not, Your Honor. I am not being threatened by the police. I am threatened by the family on TikTok. Wait a minute. The defense attorney just got done arguing that you're being biased, that you're throwing accusation that shows you're biased, throwing accusation with no evidence, which shows that you're biased in this case. Now, this is ground to remove you off the case. And then she turns around. She tells him, no, Your Honor. And then she says, I'm being threatened on TikTok with no evidence, by the way.
Have you been charged with something that I don't know about?
Absolutely not.
With regards to Sarah Sami?
Absolutely not. I mean,
haven't been charged with anything.
for her to throw around these accusations that she's being threatened by the family when there's no evidence that we're threatening the prosecutor. I mean, is she taking? I mean, what kind of threats? Is it that I'm telling her that you're gonna end up in jail for falsifying this case? I mean,
That's not a threat.
That's not a threat. I'm telling her
sounds
based
like
on
a promise to me.
based on the file, based on the evidence that I have, you are using police officer that falsified this case. And you're going to end up in jail. Now, releasing this information is a threat.
Let me say this.
I mean, clearly, she demonstrated that she is biased. Do you see what I'm talking? Do you see what I'm going with this?
Look, I'm going to say this. I think her communications with any police officer is relevant here, especially after today's hearing. She made it relevant when she's telling the judge, I don't know about any of the stuff that Mustafa's defense attorney is bringing up. I don't know about it. And then he says, the judge tells her, he says, have you looked into it? And she says, no.
Well,
Right?
first she says there's nothing there.
Okay, so first she says there's nothing there, right? Now, she says there's nothing there. And then the judge asks her if she looked into it. And she says, no, she hasn't looked into it. So,
I mean, even the judge got upset. He said, how could you know if you haven't looked into it?
look, so she's claiming that she doesn't know about these 18 Brady motions, these 18 Brady violations by police, this bias against Mustafa. She says she doesn't know about it. Well, I think the communications with her and the officers is very relevant here because it's going to show that she's lying to the judge on the record. That's why it's relevant. If anybody should look at it, I mean, she's argued a protective order left and right. Every time the judge speaks, she says something about a protective order. So you already have all your protective orders in place. Whatever communication that you feel should be under a protective order, it's already there. What we're saying is the defendant should be entitled to your communication with the police, especially when you say you don't know about these Brady violations. You don't know about this bias against Mustafa. You don't know about, she mentioned Casey Fines when Brad, Mustafa's attorney, says he tells the judge that Casey Fines made some statements, derogatory statements, and he's the reason why Mustafa was being targeted by Drum, specifically after he made the comment that he's a meth user or a drug user.
That's right. Casey Stephen, as soon as he got on the scene, he tells the main investigator, Robert Drum, that Mustafa is a meth user, he's on drugs, knowing him is drug related.
Okay, so he started that probable cause right there based on his statement.
That's right. So Brad Haywood is arguing to the judge that there's a bias here, and these officers, we have to find out where is this bias coming from. Is there police reports? Where is this bias coming from?
Let me get to it. So Sarah Sami says that maybe Casey Fines is involved with the Stafford County Sheriff's Office, and he got his information from Stafford County. Well, we know that's a lie because the body cam clearly shows that Casey Fines tells Drum that he had interacted with Mustafa at some occasion prior to the accident where Mustafa was on all kinds of drugs. That's what he says. So we know that Sarah Sami is lying.
Well, the Stafford County doesn't make any sense because the Stafford County situation is a lawsuit that Mustafa was bringing against the police.
That's right.
Mustafa was suing the police. So how do you turn a lawsuit that Mustafa is suing the police to Casey Fines saying, I've dealt with him and knowing him, he's on drugs?
And Mustafa,
where is that coming from?
Mustafa has never been accused of drugs to begin with. Never been accused. Not even accused. Not even on a report. Yet Casey Fines is telling Drum that he interacted with Mustafa some time ago and that Mustafa was out of it. He was on drugs. He was high as whatever. Well, where is that incident report? How come we don't see it? And Sarah Sami wants to tell the judge today that maybe Casey Fines is involved with the Stafford County Sheriff. You mean the sheriff's office that Mustafa sued? Why would Casey Fines, all the way from Prince William County, be involved in Stafford County? I mean, isn't that what you've been saying? That
Mustafa was targeted because of the lawsuit.
Because he sued the police. And now Sarah Sami today is making that connection for you. She's making that connection that, hey, maybe Casey Fines knows about this lawsuit. I mean, we know from the body cam that Rob Sermon says on the scene that, oh, I recognize this cat. We were briefed about him. Okay, so now we know that Prince William County Police were actually briefed about Mustafa at some point prior to this accident. What was the briefing about? This is all exculpatory evidence. What were these officers briefed about Mustafa? What specifically was said? And that's what Brad is trying to get to. Now, we don't have to ask Sarah Sami about it. We have the body cam that clearly demonstrates Rob Sermon saying, I was briefed about Mustafa. In what briefing? In what environment were you briefed about Mustafa? Did you have a meeting? Did the police department have a meeting? Did somebody higher up gather these officers and say, hey, this guy is suing the police. Okay, let's keep an eye on him. Okay, and the moment he gets in a car accident, he's vulnerable. They take advantage of a situation. I mean,
how dare a Mustafa sue the police?
Exactly.
They have to put him back into his place in Prince William County.
How dare you sue the police and you think you're going to get away with it?
And now, when that didn't work, Prosecutor Sarah Sami turns around and she tells Judge Weimer, Your Honor, the reason that Casey Fine said that is because Casey Fine found weed in the vehicle. Now, wait a minute.
I mean, that's not true because I just told you what's on the body cam. He clearly tells Robert Drum, him that he specifically interacted with Mustafa some time ago and that he labeled him as a drug user.
Well, not only that, Casey Fine said that before interacting and making contact with the vehicle.
Before searching the car. We know that they searched the car at night.
Exactly. Now, the bigger problem is what's in the car is hemp.
Exactly. There's no drugs in the car.
Mustafa had the toxicology report. Dorothy has a toxicology report, and it shows 0.0003. What's in the car is hemp. And this prosecutor knows it. I mean, a document where Mustafa's toxicology show that it's hemp. So for her to turn around and pretend that this officer, that there is nothing there, that these officers were not targeting Mustafa, clearly on a body cam, it shows that this officer is targeting Mustafa. Now we have to get to the bottom of what they said about Mustafa. Why are they targeting Mustafa? I mean, we know why they're targeting Mustafa.
And the only way to get
Mustafa was suing the police.
The only way to get that is through Sarah Sami's communication. She's the one that actively blocked the expert from defying a judge's order. Judge ordered Mustafa's defense to bring in an expert to examine the car. And
now, before
on the scene, the officer said that the prosecutor said, no, the expert cannot continue inspecting the car any further.
Absolutely. There's a judge order to reconstruct the vehicle, and Robert Drum tells the independent expert that specifically Prosecutor Sarah Sami said, you cannot reconstruct the vehicle.
Okay.
Now, that's defying a judge order on a body cam, and we're going to go over this body cam.
I mean,
now, before we go into this body cam, I want to quickly touch on Casey Fines. And the problem with the judge approved the Brady, the Brady violation, that Brad Haywood is going to get if there is any police communication, the body cam,
which we know there is.
Okay,
there is.
The body cam, because those body cams are muted, and some are edited and cut into the server.
We'll get to the body cams.
Now the problem here is the judge allows this Brady motion to move forward because it clearly on a body cam, the body cams are not there. They're muted and missing. Now it's left to the discretion of the prosecutor to release these body cams. Now that's what's happening here.
Wait, what?
It's
what?
It's left up to the prosecution, Prosecutor Sarah Sami, Judge Weimer. First, he asked her, where are the rest of the body cams? Because Brad Haywood made a point that these body cam, clearly, you can see that the police department cut.
Yeah, they cut it. They edited the body cams.
They cut and edited the original body cam.
When the body cam starts, you can see an officer clicking the button.
Exactly.
When the officer ends the body cam, they reach for the button. You can clearly see it. Yet, Chad Mason's body cams are completely missing, and we have snippets. Maybe 2 or 3 snippets.
Casey Fons is completely muted without him pressing the button.
Muted? The whole thing?
The whole thing is muted.
Wait, I thought Sarah Sami told the judge that the way body cams work is that there's a buffer.
Absolutely. So Brad Haywood was arguing that point. He said, how could it, I mean, those body cams are cut, edited, uploaded to the server, evidence.com.
Could it be?
I don't see them pressing the button. She said, Your Honor, the body cam, and the way the body cam work, you have to press the button. There's about a minute buffer before you hear anything. Now, Judge Weimer...
Wait, maybe Casey Fine's camera has an hour buffer.
And Judge Weimer got so angry. I mean, Judge Weimer, in his defense, Judge Weimer got angry, and because
he knows how body cams work.
He used to be a Prince William County police officer. Judge Weimer used to be a police officer. He absolutely knows how body cams work. So he didn't entertain that buffer. Sarah Sami, the buffer. Yeah,
the buffer situation.
I mean, at one point he's asking her, he's like, "Are you telling me that body cams automatically have they know when a situation comes up and they automatically mute and turn off?" And he's laughing at her. And it's a joke. He's angry.
It's a joke.
He's angry that
she can't protect
exactly
how they muted almost an entire hour of body cam.
Now
there's no justification for it.
Now, Judge Weimer allowed that motion to go through, but now it's up to the discretion of the prosecutor to release these body cams. And the problem here is she just got done telling him, Your Honor, there are no more body cams. I gave everything to the defense. I gave everything to Brad Haywood.
That's a lie.
Now, obviously it's a lie because Mustafa's defense attorney, and he's arguing, he said, Your Honor, these are edited body cams. These are cut, muted, what's uploaded into the server. The original is in a separate file that the police department have. What I have is edited body cams. Now it's up to the prosecutor to release the original body cams. Now, here's a problem. This prosecutor already demonstrated that she's approaching this whole entire case in bad faith. when she's telling him there are no more body cams, that I've given everything. Judge Weimer asked her, did you probe into if there is any more body cam? Did you reach out to the police department and find out where are the original? She said, no, Your Honor. What do you mean?
So how can she know if she says she hasn't probed it? If she did not look into it, how could she for certain say that there's no more body cams?
Mohammed, right behind her is Internal Affairs, Captain Brandon Doodley.
Doodley?
Brandon Doodley, sitting right behind her. After the whole court was done, after the whole motion was done, she's sitting there laughing with him, and she's telling him, they're not getting anything. There is nothing to give. I've already given
I thought she said
the defense attorney everything.
I thought she said she doesn't have access to evidence.com anymore.
I mean, she tells the judge one thing, and then she laughs with Internal Affairs and tells him they're not getting anything. I don't have anything to give.
We're gonna get it, by the way. We're gonna get it.
The problem here,
one way or another, unless they're deleting body cams.
Well, the problem here for Judge Weimer, he's watching and entertaining that the prosecutor in good faith is going to go back to the police department and get these body cams when she's clearly demonstrated that she's not interested in getting these body cams to protect those police officers. She's telling him they don't exist. And then she turns around and tells him, I never looked. What do you mean?
She said that the prosecution has already given everything that they had.
Exactly.
And that's a lie, because I have my own list of missing footage. Okay. And this is some of them. This is not all of them. This is like off the cuff.
My question to Judge Weimer: you want to show that you're impartial in this case, in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. You want to show that now you're realizing that the police department have falsified this case. I mean, why would you block the communication between the prosecutor and the police department? I mean, Blake Haywood is arguing.
Blake Haywood?
Brad Haywood. Okay. Is arguing that he needs the communication between the prosecutor
and the police.
And Judge Weimer says, no, we're not going to do that. Why?
Why not?
I mean, the prosecutor already demonstrated that she's not approaching this case.
Exculpatory evidence.
And she's not going about this case in good faith. She's obviously not interested in providing body cams and finding out and probing the police department if there's more body cams. She's not. Now, the only way you can get to the bottom of it is by releasing her communication, not leaving it to the discretion of the prosecutor to
release whatever she wants.
That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
Which shows, it shows that this judge is covering up for the prosecutor.
There's a cover-up.
There's a cover-up. Okay. Absolutely.
Because let's put it like this. We know Chad Mason's body cam is missing. According to Robert Drum and Kathy Sami'S, as well as Chad Mason on the stand from October 31st of last year, we know there's video of Mustafa driving where Drum says him and Dorothy are door dashing. That wasn't provided. That was not provided. Okay.
Brad Haywood argued that today, and he said, Your Honor, the full body cam, the full dash camera, where Mustafa... Investigator Drum says that Mustafa is door dashing. Now,
that's missing.
And the prosecutor tell him, Your Honor, I gave everything
she did not.
To the defense.
She did not. Clearly, she did not. If she did, the lawyer would not be sitting there today asking for it.
I mean, flat out, she's lying to Judge Weimer. She's telling him, I gave the defense everything, when clearly the rest of the body cam is missing.
Look, in the police report, I noticed that there was a specific praising. They're praising one of the investigators in this case.
The Children Forensic Unit.
We're talking about Investigator Romero. And they say that Romero did an outstanding job interviewing the children.
Interesting.
He did an outstanding job dealing with these children. Okay? Now, Prosecutor Sami today wants to tell the judge that they've released everything. Okay? Why is it that there is, number one, there's no report from Romero, and there's no body cam of Romero interacting with the children? How can you say you've released everything when you're praising Romero? You're praising him. You're saying he did an outstanding job with the children. Where is the footage?
Brad Haywood.
Where's the footage?
One of the Brady point that Brad Haywood argued is the forensic interviews show that the children have been weaponized in this case. Now, the children are talking about it. The children are saying that investigator Romero told them specific things about Mustafa.
He coached the children.
Weaponized them against
They
Mustafa.
abused the children. Now,
So
her defense, by the way, Sarah Sami's defense today to Judge Weimer is that, Your Honor, the children were only dealt with by a special individual who's a specialist. This is a special unit that deals with children, a forensic psychologist that deals with children. So if that's the case, why do we have body cam where Rob Davis has one of the children on speed dial and he's calling her outside of the communication with the specialist? I didn't know Rob Davis was a child interviewer. I didn't know that he was specifically dealing with children. By the way, he's in his car. He's driving and he speed dials Kylie, one of the children. Okay? What kind of communication did Rob Davis have with one of the children? What kind of communication did Drum have with these children? Okay, we know for a fact Rob Davis was talking to Kylie, who's a minor, by the way.
I have the body cam where he has her on speed dial. A 16-year-old, he calls her on her cell phone. He's not with the children forensic unit.
Again,
Now,
how can the prosecutor tell the judge today that the children were only dealt with by this
the forensic unit.
special forensic psychologist that dealt with the kids? And we know that's not true. I mean, clearly, from body cams, from reports, Romero, Drum talking to the kids.
The 14-year-old child, specifically says in a forensic interview that investigator told me that Mustafa ran away, left my 5-year-old baby sister to bleed to death, and ran away. They could have saved her. The police could have saved her, but Mustafa ran away. Now, Mustafa was in a coma. Mustafa was helicoptered to the hospital. Why would investigator Romero lie to these children and then walk them into the forensic interview? I mean, Judge Weimer was so upset. In his defense, Judge Weimer was so upset that Brad Haywood is arguing that the children are weaponized, that I have evidence that the children have been weaponized in this case. Judge Weimer tells Prosecutor Sarah Sami, are you aware that the children have been tampered with and weaponized? She says, Your Honor, nothing, the children were not weaponized. And then he asked her, are you aware of the conversation that took place between the children and investigator Romero? She says, no, Your Honor. I've never looked into what communication that took place between the children, between investigator Romero and the children before they were walked into the forensic interview. So how could you sit there and tell the judge nothing happened when you're not even aware of the communication? You're sitting there telling the judge that you're not aware of the communication. Now, the problem here is, in the forensic interview, the children tell you there were communication between them and investigator Romero. That investigator Romero coerced, coached, and told them a bunch of lies before they were walked into the forensic interview.
And we know what the lie is, by the way.
Clearly.
We know what the lie is. They told the children, they told them that Mustafa fled the scene after crashing the car. He fled the scene. After crashing the car, he fled the scene and left your sister and your mom to die. That's what detectives are telling these kids.
Now, Judge Weimer...
It's no secret. It's on body cam.
Judge Weimer is telling Prosecutor Sarah Sami, now that you say that you don't know the communication, would it concern you to find out that if investigators weaponized these children before they were walked into a forensic interview, would you not say that they're coercing the children against Mustafa? I mean, that's Judge Weimer. That's why he's telling Prosecutor Sarah Sami. And she says... She stands up like she starts shivering. I swear to God, she starts shivering. She starts like
she knows she's lying.
I mean, the judge is calling her out. One, you say nothing happened. Two, then you turn around and you say, I don't know what communication took place. And then the judge is calling her out. He said, that's a problem. I mean, if there is an investigator that coerced children, told them negative things about Mustafa before they were children that are 9, 10, 14, and then 16. You're telling me, Prosecutor Sam, do you not give a fuck about these children? I mean, or whatever it takes to protect your police department that clearly has it out for Mustafa because he sued them. Oh, wait a minute. A Mustafa has to be put back into his place. And let's really take a step back and watch what's happening here. This is a vehicle accident. A Mustafa gets in a vehicle accident, and his girlfriend, who's white, is dead. So you already had Mustafa on your radar. He sued you, so you have to put him back into his place. And now he gets in a tragic vehicle accident, and you're taking advantage of him, and now you're watching, oh, a white girl is dead. It doesn't matter if this is not a car accident. It doesn't matter if it's a car accident. Whatever it takes, we have to get this guy. A Mustafa, we have to put him back into his place. I mean, and here we are. We have a case that's falsified, a completely falsified case.
So,
I mean,
so far we've established, I mean, through our conversation just now, we've established that Sarah Sami lied about Casey Fines. She lied about the children only being interviewed by the special forensic psychologist. Okay. She lied about giving all of the dash cam footage to the lawyer. We know that's a lie. So that's 3 things so far that she flat out lied about. And by the way, I'll say this. It's one thing if you lie to the judge and we have no way of verifying it. It's another thing when you have the entire evidence.com file
released on the internet. Okay.
And you're talking about it. And you're like, you can prove that she lied based on video. Their own video proves the prosecutor lied 3 times on the record to a judge. I mean, if I was the judge, I would be pissed.
I mean, Brad Haywood, when he's making these Brady motions, these Brady violation, he's not saying, I think this happened. No, it's on a body cam.
And she tried to lie about how body cams work, claiming there's a buffer. I don't think a buffer is an hour of muted footage. By the way, the officer that I'm talking about with the entire time he was muted is Casey Fines, who's going around to witnesses on the scene telling them, hey, this guy is a drug head. This guy is a druggie. This is drug related. This guy's probably drunk.
I mean, if he's telling Robert Drum Mustafa is on drugs, I made contact when he's on drugs. Can you imagine what he's telling the witnesses?
Amar, if they're willing to lie to the children about what happened, then I think the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit.
The problem I have is that Judge Weimer is making these Brady violations move forward, and he's approving them, and then he turns around and leaves it up to the prosecutor, who doesn't care about releasing these body cams, who's lying about the whole entire case, to go in and ask the police department, can you release the body cam with the children when they were handled before you walked them to the forensic interview? Can you release this and that body cam? Can you release the body cam of Chad Mason when he made contact with the dash camera? That I have a whole entire transcript today that he admitted to violating the chain of custody.
On the record.
On the record, that he took possession of that dash camera, took it back to his car. 2 days later, then decided to get a warrant. And then now you have a dash camera that's cut and muted. And they're admitting now that they have the audio.
You know what I find really
appalling? Do you see what I'm talking about? Like, you know, Judge Weimer is, and this is where I'm struggling with Judge Weimer. I mean, you say you're passing these motions, and you're not doing Mustafa a favor, by the way. These body cams have already been released to the community. They're on the internet. So when you're sitting here approving these motions to Brad Haywood, you're not doing Brad Haywood a favor. You're not doing Mustafa a favor. This is on a body cam, Brady violation that this police department violated the children, abused the children, weaponized them, and botched up the whole entire case. So, but to turn around and seal off the communication of the prosecutor with the police department, only to have it's up to the prosecutor to probe the police department and see if anything there. We know there's missing body cams. And behind her is Internal Affairs, Brandon Dudley. And after court, she's laughing with him, telling him...
I was going to ask you that. You think Brandon Dudley is there to look at how his officers pretty much fucked up this case, how they falsified, lied, and they're being Brady motioned left and right? You think he's concerned about the police department and the reputation and the the trust with the community, or you think he's coming in to do a patch job?
How
He's trying to
could
patch
you
it up?
ask me that question when I'm telling you after court, Prosecutor Sarah Sami is sitting there with Brandon Doodley, Internal Affairs,
And they're
Captain,
laughing.
and they're laughing. There's nothing more. We get Prosecutor Sarah. She's not even asking him if there's anything more. She's telling him there's nothing more.
So she's telling
him
the police department,
you have nothing to worry about.
don't release anything else.
Basically, and
That's bullshit.
and the judge. I mean, you want to tell me Judge Weimer is not protecting this police department, not protecting Prosecutor Sarah Sami? He denied the motion to unseal her communication with the fucking police.
Okay, I think if
I mean,
she's
that's,
willing,
that's a judge protecting the police department.
if she's willing to openly laugh in front of you, in front of the public, if she's openly laughing and telling the police, instructing them that there's nothing else for you to release, that's what she's telling him, right? I can only imagine what happens behind closed doors. I can only imagine what kind of communications is going on between Sarah Sami and Robert Drum, who, by the way, according to Chief Newsham, he's a liar. According to Chief Newsham, according to Chad Mason, he violated department policy by tampering with evidence. Okay? And you have Sarah Sami, who is in constant communication with these lying officers. I think it's very relevant what communication she had.
All over the body cams, what you see through those police body cams, that they're calling and updating Sarah Sami about what they're doing.
Every step of the way. Every step of the way. They're calling Sarah Sami and they're saying, hey, we crushed his car. Now what? She says, don't let the expert inspect it. Okay, they hang up and they tell the expert, you're not going to inspect the car. I don't give a fuck what kind of judge order you have. You're not inspecting the car because Sarah Sami said you're not inspecting it.
Do me a favor, go over to exhibit. I want to play a specific body cam.
By the way, I'll say this. I think her communication is very important because there was a time very, very early on where Mustafa's attorney brought in documents to the court. This is very, very early on, like April. He brought in documents and he told the court that the vehicle was just serviced at a mechanic shop. Okay? This was prior to them cutting up the car. I believe Sarah Sami's communication is going to say she's instructing the police department to chop up the car. Okay? Because clearly the police say that in the report, they say that Sarah Sami stated to them that the car recently had work done to it. Okay? And she instructed them to chop up the car so that you can't decide, was this because of the accident? Was this a prior failure? I mean, we know from a sealed report that they admit there's brake failure. I mean, that's undeniable. You can't deny that. Okay?
It's on a body cam.
It's on body cam and it's on a report that they've sealed and you had to steal to get that information. This is exculpatory information. This should have been released from day one. Exculpatory. I mean, that's the definition of exculpatory. Her communication is 100% exculpatory. And I think Sarah Sami's communication is incriminating. Not just to her.
Why are they so terrified?
It's incriminating to the officers. And I think that's why you had almost every administrator from the Prince William County Police sit in the back. Okay? They're not just there listening, by the way. These people, I mean, you will never see these people in public. Okay? This is who runs the police department. These are the top people that are in the shadows. Okay? When you file a complaint, you put it on a piece of paper, you give it to the front desk. This is who's reviewing that complaint.
What if I tell you all those people that were sitting in the back, as soon as the judge said he's denying the communication to people, they all left.
I believe it because that's all they were there for. By the way, they're not there. This is internal affairs. They're IA, right? They're supposed to be ensuring that their officers follow policy and procedure that is set by the Board of Supervisors, that's set by the community. These are guidelines that these officers have to abide by law. Okay? Now, we're not saying these officers broke policy. We're saying they actively tampered with evidence. They destroyed evidence. They tampered and manipulated and intimidated witnesses. They've abused children. And I think her communication with these criminals with a badge is very relevant to this case. Why do you think half the administrators from the police department left as soon as he said he's denying communication being released?
Look, in Mustafa's lawyer defense, Brad Haywood, he did an amazing job today. I mean,
I believe
Mustafa cannot ask for a better lawyer. Now, what happened today is a show. They put on a show for Brad Haywood. They're terrified from this lawyer. They're terrified. By the way, this lawyer is slowly maturing into what he's finding in this case. And he's horrified. I mean, you have evidence that the children have been weaponized. I mean, what he was arguing today, it's not, he wasn't saying, I think this happened. No, he has a body cam where the child is talking about that the police department told me a bunch of things that are lies before they walked me into a forensic interview. The child, the 14-year-old child, is saying it on a forensic interview. So when you see Brad Haywood tell Judge Weimer, what happened before this child? Where is the body cam when you handled this child before you walked him to the forensic interview? The judge has to approve this motion because, one, the defense attorney has that body cam. Two, that body cam is all over the internet. The community is watching. But this judge is protecting the prosecutor by sealing off those communications. I mean, you're going to leave it up to the prosecutor to ask the police department, hey, is there a body cam? Is there? Oh, no, there's nothing there. We already gave everything. How are you going to verify what this prosecutor is saying? How are you going to verify what the police department is saying? The only way you can verify this is by opening her communication and what was said to Investigator Romero, what was told to Investigator Drum. Now, this lawyer is maturing into finding major violation in this case.
And I just want to add,
and I'll tell you, for Mustafa's defense attorney, I mean, he did a really good job today, but he's watching. I mean, you think Mustafa's defense attorney, I mean, just because Judge Weimer denied that the communication is going to be released, he's just going to let it go? Where there's smoke, there's fire. And I'll tell you, we're going to get to the bottom of it.
Let me ask you this. What can you tell me? I mean, you were there. What can you tell me about something being said about the alleged witnesses in this case, where they have a criminal background? Okay, let me just set the stage for you.
Yeah.
Okay. The children stayed with the neighbor, who's Tanisha Coleman. If you look up Tanisha Coleman, she has a bad record. Okay, she has a criminal background. Now, one of the charges that I found on Tanisha Coleman, that's public record, by the way, is contribution to the delinquency of a minor. Okay, you have charges on her where she's, I don't know, abusing children. She's doing something bad with kids. Okay, and the other alleged witness, this is the alleged star witness for Sarah Sami and Amy Ashworth, is Glenn Ford, who has drug charges. He had like public intoxication, brandishing a firearm, possession of drugs with intent to distribute. Okay, and according to Glenn Ford, he was drugging and sleeping with one of Dorothy's minors.
That's right. He admitted that to a private investigator, where he's drugging and sleeping with that 16-year-old.
With the 16-year-old. So, okay, these are the people that Prosecutor Sami is relying on giving her information. Two individuals, okay, that both have something negative, criminal activity with kids, with minors specifically. Okay, one is sleeping with a minor and drugging him. The other one has a charge of contribution to the delinquency of a minor.
I mean, these are
as well as other charges like being drunk, hit and run, things of that nature. And I find it odd, number one, that the prosecutor is relying on criminals to give information about Mustafa, specifically when they say they don't know Mustafa. That's one. Okay. Number two is
on body cam, they say we don't know Mustafa and we were not there.
They don't know Mustafa.
And Brad Haywood argued that to Judge Weimer. He said the witnesses that are being relied on by the prosecution say we were not there, essentially manufacturing lies.
And this is
That's on a body cam. That's what they're saying on a body cam. And these are the sealed body cam. That's why they're terrified that these body cams got released.
This is the Captain Doodley, right? That's his name, Doodley. How do you feel that Robert Drum knew these two individuals were in possession of the children, and rather than call the children's biological father and saying, hey, your kids are here, they didn't do that. Robert Drum says, let me keep the kids with this pedophile and this other criminal that has charges against children. Let me keep the kids with those individuals.
I'll do you one better. Investigator Romero, the one that coached and weaponized the children, is actively blocking the biological father from being next to his kids, while other investigator is telling those individuals,
that's crazy.
We need you to get
crazy.
Mustafa off the street. We need you. He's telling Glenn Ford, the one that was allowed into the hospital, allowed to take pictures of 5-year-old Empress, only to go back to the children he's in possession of.
By the way, to clarify,
show them these pictures and weaponize those children against Mustafa.
By the way, to clarify,
that's what the prosecution is relying on.
When you say show pictures of Empress, the 5-year-old, people think, okay, what's wrong with showing pictures? No. You don't understand. The photo we're talking about is of a child who is cut up. Okay, this is a deceased child who still has the equipment connected to her body. I mean, there's a tube like sticking out of her, I think from her stomach. There's all sorts of like weird medical equipment. I mean, it's a very, very disturbing image. Okay. And that's why the hospital said these kids should not see their baby sister in that form, because it's a terrifying picture. Okay. And Glenn Ford, the criminal, the pedophile, took a picture of that little girl and he showed it to these little kids. Okay. And what does Robert Drum say to Tanisha Coleman and Glenn Ford? He says, hey, can you keep the kids for an extra week?
What do you mean?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'll tell you something that's disturbing in that body cam.
By the way, Drum knows who these people are. You're being told that children are being left with this neighbor, this stranger to them. Okay. You're telling me Robert Drum never checked on Tanisha Coleman? He never checked on Glenn Ford? He didn't pull up this extensive criminal background? And he decided, we'll just leave the kids with that. And you have the father begging to be with his kids, begging. And you left the children with these child abusers.
I mean,
the prosecution is relying on information from these criminals?
I mean, this is what was argued to Judge Carroll Weimer. Brad Haywood told Judge Carroll Weimer. He says, did the prosecution look into these individuals, and why am I not provided with their background, their criminal background? I have allegations that one of the individuals stole and
he pawned all of Dorothy's items.
Exactly. They went into the apartment. They stole, and one of the items that they stole is the cameras. Mustafa and Dorothy has cameras inside the apartment.
Light bulb cameras. Now,
the daughter, the 16-year-old daughter, with Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend, went into the apartment. And by the way, the daughter admitted to it. She got online and she said, yeah, I went into the apartment. I took everything. Well, you took the cameras inside the apartment.
The daughter that was never on a lease. She was never on the lease. She never lived at that apartment. Okay. And according to court records, she was not supposed to be making any contact. According to a protective order, she's not supposed to be making contact with Dorothy. You're telling me the police gave access to this minor to go into an alleged double homicide crime scene?
Guess who gave her access?
Let me guess. Romero
on a body cam. On a body cam, he's giving access. He's telling, he says, Robert Drum is going to give you access to the apartment. You're charging Mustafa with murder.
And then there's reports of Glenn Ford pawning everything.
You let the individuals that are testifying against Mustafa go in the apartment and clean the apartment out.
To steal evidence.
To steal the most crucial piece of it. You're saying that that Mustafa abused the children. Well, one, you weaponize the children. Two, you let individuals steal the cameras inside the apartment.
I mean,
and now you're upset because we have the cameras.
So
we have the Google Nest videos. But your witness admitted to going into the apartment, and then another individual, Glenn Ford, had pawned everything in the apartment.
It's in the report. Glenn Ford pawned everything.
So Brad Haywood brought that point up to Judge Weimer, and Judge Weimer tells Prosecutor Sarah Sami, did you look into your witnesses' criminal background? Did you look into these allegations? She said, Your Honor, I don't have to look into these individuals because that would mean that I'm doing the job of the defense. He says, Brad Haywood says, wait a minute, hold on now. I don't have access into these files. You, the prosecutor, you, the Commonwealth attorney, have access into these individuals' criminal background.
Are they saying they never did an investigation?
Prosecutor Sarah Sami says she never looked into it. She doesn't know anything about what their background is.
So how is she bringing charges? How can you bring charges?
How could you rely on individuals that you never looked into? You're claiming for 2.5 years that you have witnesses that are going to come forward and say Mustafa committed a murder.
Well, she's already brought Tanisha Coleman and Glenn Ford. She brought them on the record.
I mean,
there's a subpoena out to Glenn Ford.
They sealed off these body cams, and on these body cams, each one of those, forget the background. Forget whether they're credible witnesses or not. On body cam, they say, we don't know Mustafa. We were not there. That's on a sealed body cam. And the only way we can verify that today is because I stole the file and I've released it all over the internet. That we can sit here today, open body cam after body cam, witnesses that the prosecution is relying on that say we were not there. Essentially, that's what Brad Haywood was arguing. That your witnesses, the individual that you're relying on, one, are criminals.
They're criminals.
They're lying. They say that we're manufacturing and lying about Mustafa on a body cam. And this prosecutor is like, I have no idea. I never looked into it. What do you mean? You've held this guy for 2.5 years.
And she never looked into it. Allegedly. Until we unseal her communication, we're never going to get to the bottom of what she actually knew and what she claims she knew.
Mohammed, we hired an independent expert to reconstruct his vehicle. Mustafa gets in a vehicle accident, and
I mean, it's a no-brainer. Look at the cars.
Look at the car.
Look at the accident.
Now, immediately, the police department crushed and staged the vehicle, and the independent expert gets to the vehicle on scene, and the investigator that falsified Mustafa's statements, Robert Drum, tells the independent expert, the prosecutor said, and by the way, that's defying a judge order to reconstruct the vehicle. The prosecutor said, Prosecutor Sarah Sami said, you cannot reconstruct this vehicle. You cannot touch the vehicle. And today, Brad Haywood is arguing. He said, Your Honor, that's not normal.
It's not normal.
We need to look into the communication of this prosecutor and find out why is this prosecutor telling Robert Drum, where is this coming from?
To block the inspection of the cars.
Do me a favor. Go over to exhibit. I want to play this portion.
Not only are they blocking the independent expert from examining the cars, but they've sealed off the data recorder from the car, and the report that they generated is missing the most crucial piece of information, the steering angle. I mean, if you want to talk about Mustafa allegedly drove his car into the SUV, don't you think as an investigator, as a normal human being, wouldn't you be interested in where the steering angle was?
Did Mustafa turn to the vehicle or away from the vehicle?
Did the
SUV turn toward Mustafa after Mustafa cleared the SUV or away from Mustafa? The steering angle should clear that up.
Exactly. Rob Davis is seen on a body cam talking to the other driver, and the first thing he tells her is, you have nothing to worry about. You have nothing to worry about as long as you stick to your statements.
That's Rob Davis, the same Rob Davis is heard on another body cam say, I have an idea to employ into this case, but it's going to require spending money.
By the way, he's in that moment in time, he's at the he's in her room at the hospital, in the other driver's room. He's making her sign a consent to search form, where he's telling her they're going to search her car, that she has nothing to worry about as long as she sticks to her statement. And what was her statement, by the way? She says, I was going 35 miles an hour.
That's not true. The data recorder shows that she's going over the speed limit
by 13 miles an hour. Over. She was going 63. She was going 63 miles per hour.
She's on drugs?
And they 50.
She's on drugs? Where is her toxicology report?
So they don't check her for drugs, even though the medic tells the officer, he tells Drum that she's a PLS patient. And she admits to the officer that she was at an urgent care clinic that afternoon.
She's on heavy medication.
She's on medication. Okay. Now the form, the piece of paper that Rob Davis had this woman sign says, by the way, it requires a witness. There was no witness with him. Okay. So nobody signed the witness portion of it. But the form says, I did not promise this individual anything.
That's a lie.
In order for her to give me consent to search her car.
That's a lie. He told her, stick to the narrative.
100% that's a lie. She says, by the way, she says that she saw Mustafa's vehicle and she tried to avoid it. Okay? Now, I mean, we can't get into her brain and see what the hell she was doing at the time, but we can look at data. Data doesn't lie. The numbers, they don't lie.
The computer inside the vehicle should tell you the steering angle.
We look at the data that the police department provided, and it shows that she was on cruise control. She was on cruise control, going 63 miles an hour, and she never hit the brake. Okay? Now, if we were to believe that she saw Mustafa's vehicle, she was trying to avoid an accident, we would at least expect to see that she's not on the gas, that she's on the brake. Okay? But her car was accelerating all the way up until 0.5 seconds. Her car, which is a Chevy Suburban, records for 5 seconds before the crash. So everything in the car is recorded. Steering angle, braking, cruise control, gas pedal, everything is recorded. Speed, okay? Now, why is it that her data from her car, the data recorder shows she never hit the brake? Why does it show that she was on cruise control? Why does it show that she was going 13 miles an hour over the speed limit? And then the final nail in the coffin is, where's her steering angle? According to Drum on the scene, he says, she must have turned into him. That's the only way this accident can make sense. She was in the third lane, and you see all the debris from the accident in the lane over.
I want to play that
where
body
Mustafa was trying to avoid her car. Did she turn into him? I mean, again, we're not saying that she's 100% at fault, but these are contributing factors to the accident.
I mean,
these are contributing factors.
You're talking about Mustafa clearing all the vehicle, making it to the fourth lane, and the SUV turning into Mustafa.
That's the whole point of having a crash investigator. He's supposed to investigate how this accident came about.
Instead,
what were the factors that caused this accident? And he basically promised the other driver that we're not even going to look into you. Matter of fact, we're not even going to pull up your steering angle. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Mustafa's vehicle get crushed and staged by the police department. And when you finally get a crash reconstructionist to reconstruct this vehicle accident, you have a whole judge order to reconstruct this vehicle accident. Where does Robert Drum tell the independent expert that I paid $5,000 to? He tells him, Prosecutor Sarah Sami said, you cannot look at the vehicle. You cannot touch the vehicle. And that's not normal. How could you reconstruct this accident if you can't even touch the vehicle?
If you can't look at the other car.
Now, Judge Weimer thinks that there's nothing to see in the communication between Prosecutor Sarah Sami and Robert Drum. You don't think that we should unseal the communication? What was said between Sarah Sami and Robert Drum, that here you have Robert Drum tell the independent expert, we're not going to reconstruct this vehicle. Or we're not going to have you reconstruct this vehicle. I mean, do me a favor. Go over to exhibit. I want to play this portion.
I mean, not only that, but Sarah Sami apparently had communication with Kylie Clapp, one of the minor children.
And that's not released.
You tell me that's not relevant? What the prosecutor said to a minor when today she's telling the judge that only the forensic specialist talks to the kids? That's not true. Sarah Sami, you spoke to that child. What did you tell that child? What was your communication to the police? And how did this whole entire thing come about? What was the conversation to the police? And how did you bring this minor in to have a private conversation without her parents, without her dad, without an adult in the room? How can you bring a child and have a private conversation, you, the police, and this child? Where's the forensic interviewer? She wasn't there. So to tell Judge Weimer today that we have a special children unit that deals with the children, you flat out lied. You lied and you're caught red-handed. And you're going to have to answer for that. You know, I think Judge Weimer not releasing her private communication with the police is a very big mistake. Okay? And I think all the things that we just mentioned, Captain Doodley, I think you have a job to do.
He ran away today.
You have a job to do.
After court, I'm asking him, are you with the police department? Because I see this prosecutor Sarah Sami is talking to this guy behind her. And for a minute, I walk into court. I'm like, is that our independent expert?
He looks like him.
He looks just like him. And I mean, I'm sitting there. I swear to God, I'm sitting there looking at the defense attorney, Brad Hayward. I'm looking at Judge Weimer. I'm like, are they openly doing it out in the open? They're talking to the independent expert that I paid $5,000 to. They wouldn't let him reconstruct. I mean, he's on the prosecution. And for a second, I thought that was the independent expert. They look. Do me a favor. Go over to exhibit.
I mean, you know, I'll just say.
Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Go over to exhibit.
What's really sad is everything you're saying today, everything we're talking about here on this podcast, the really sad part is that Captain Doodley, he's already
entertaining it.
He's already reviewed every body cam in this case. Every body cam, every piece of misconduct, every manipulation of the evidence, every cover-up, every time the children were abused, every time department policies were broken, he's aware of it.
He ran away.
He's aware of it.
Mohammed, he ran away.
And it's sad that they put somebody like Doodley, who's not doing his job.
I mean, he's sitting there protecting officers that abused children. A 9, a 10, a 14. Sad. And you don't have to take my word for it. I have the forensic interview that the child is talking about, that the police told me this and this and that lies about Mustafa before they were walked into the forensic interview. To tell a child that Mustafa left your 5-year-old baby sister to bleed to death.
What does Captain Doodley have to say about that?
They could have saved her if Mustafa was in a coma. Mustafa was helicoptered out. And this is not I have the forensic interview. I mean, today, Captain Doodley ran away. I'm sitting there, I'm telling him, are you with the police department? And then he's like, I really have to go. I have to be, I think he said, I have to be in Fairfax. I said, that's fine. You're with the police department. I think I should be able to talk to my police department. He's like, I'm not open to interviews. I'm looking at him. Interviews. I'm here to tell you that your police officer, I'm here to tell you that I have access into your server. Your police officer are going to jail, sir. Wait for a lawsuit. He just ran away. I mean, you would expect that internal affairs is there to get to the bottom of this police misconduct. Mohammed, they're there to cover up for a police officer that abused children, falsified this case.
I mean, the bare minimum would be, sir, we're looking into the officer's conduct, okay? And we're going to ensure that they are following the policy and procedures that are set.
And instead, he runs away. Why can't you have a conversation? Oh, are you terrified that I have the actual body cam that your police officer engaged in falsifying this case?
They can't lie.
Is that why you're running away?
Of course.
I mean, expect...
You're not Julie Carey, okay? You're not Julie Carey. He's used to someone that is going to play his side. She's going to cover up for him, and she's going to make him look all nice and pretty for the media, for the public, so that they can put the public to sleep.
I mean, he's with internal affairs. He's the captain of internal affairs. Why am I watching a body cam where Robert Drum, his police officer, is talking about blocking the independent expert to reconstruct the vehicle? And he says, the prosecutor said that we're not going to reconstruct. What are you so terrified?
I think Doodler should be more interested in Sarah Sami's communication than anybody else.
And instead, he's laughing with the prosecutor after court, and she's telling him, I've already given everything to the defense. There's nothing there. The judge just told you you have to probe this guy, literally put your fingers up his asshole and grab those body cams. And she's sitting there laughing. I mean, by the way, she looked really fucking bad. She looked rough.
I heard she looked like a little boy.
She looked like a little skinny Pakistani kid.
Why Pakistani though?
I have no idea. She's Persian. She's hairy, and I'm looking at a skinny.
Wait, I thought she wasn't going to be there for the Brady motions.
That's what she said last time. She said that she's not going to be there, and Stephanie Buck is going to argue the Brady motion. I think Stephanie Buck.
I can imagine what Stephanie Buck said. She said, "Sarah, Sarah, don't leave me, please. You know I'm fucking stupid. You think I'm going to do this all on my own?"
And plus, she looks stupid. She looks like a beaver that just came out of.
Can you bring your lashes? Maybe it'll change the judge's decision. Maybe he'll rule for you if you.
The funny thing is, Mustafa's defense attorney does not entertain her bullshit. She's used.
I don't know who would.
She's used to walking into the courtroom,
getting what she wants.
Getting what she wants. Flirt. I mean, she was shaking today, Muhammad. She was literally shaking because at one point the judge started pressing her. Did you look into this? Why would you say there's nothing there when you're admitting that you didn't look?
She's not used to it.
But then he turns around and he seals off her communication. So I'm really struggling with this judge. Is he just waking up to a reality where, oh, this case is falsified? This little Pakistani boy lied to me for 2.5 years. Then why the fuck are you sealing off her communication with the police when you just approved 18 Brady violations?
And when you say
you're talking about major violation, a vehicle crushed and staged, children weaponized, the dash camera is cut and muted.
The car is chopped up.
The car is chopped up.
Okay, children are being abused.
I mean,
there's promises made to the other driver.
I mean, I'll tell you in Brad Haywood's defense.
Like what more? How much more evidence do you want?
I mean, Brad Haywood is not entertaining this bullshit. He did a really good job today, and he's waking up to a reality that hey, why are they sealing off this communication if there is nothing there?
If there's nothing there, exactly.
I mean.
Like you're obvious. You're not saying, hey, release the communication to Facebook so everybody can read. No,
don't release it to me.
Release it to the defense attorney.
Release exactly
to the defense attorney.
Obviously, there is a protective order in place. You're gonna release it to the defense attorney. Why are you terrified that you're gonna share your communication with the defense attorney?
We go back to the one thing why they're covering this up. It's because it's incriminating. It's incriminating. The communication she had with the police.
I think Sarah Sami is scared.
It's going to show she's complicit.
I think Sarah Sami is scared from the police because at one point she said, the Judge Weimer asked her, have you been threatened by the police?
Why would he ask her that?
Why would he ask her that?
And then there's like 10 administrators behind her.
The internal affairs are lined up right behind her. As soon as the judge said, we're not going to they all leave. As soon as he says, we're not going to release the communication between her and the police officer, they leave. She tells the judge, she says, Your Honor, it's very dangerous to probe into what these officers said to me, to each other. Why would it be dangerous? To the point where Judge Weimer says,
dangerous
Judge Weimer asked her, he said, are you being threatened by the police? And then she turns around, she's like, no, Your Honor, no, I'm being threatened by the family.
But okay.
Wait.
Being threatened by the family is related to her communication with the police. How? In what way?
And then
what's going to happen if her communication is released to that attorney?
By the way, that's defamation. To throw around that you're being threatened with the family, by the family, when you have no evidence that you're being threatened by the family, goes back to the argument of Brad Haywood that he says this prosecutor shows a bias. And based on that bias, she should be thrown off the case. I agree with it. She said that you got an AR-15 with 1,000 round. She said the mother threatened her and assaulted her in court. And with no evidence, just accusation, and then she retracts these statements.
I mean, I think it's relevant who brought that accusation in. Who told her I bought a rifle?
Well,
who told her that?
You have the alleged witness on body cam that the prosecutor is relying on, that on a body cam, when you open it, it's a sealed body cam. Evelyn Horton says, I wasn't there, I didn't hear anything. She said, I told the prosecutor that.
She told the prosecutor that I bought a rifle with 1,000 rounds?
She went online and she said that. She said, I'm the one that told the prosecutor. Ha, 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 ha.
And the prosecutor
You fucking little Pakistani boy. You're relying on people that are feeding you misinformation. You know it's misinformation.
Well, I think it's
and
relevant.
You're running with it.
It's relevant to find out who's feeding this information to the prosecutor and why is she taking it at face value. Okay? Why is she taking this information at face value?
Today
why
she's still... What do you mean? Today
why is she not vetting these accusations? They're horrible accusations. They're defaming.
Mohammed, she tells the judge, I don't have a bias against Mustafa or the family, and then turns around and she says, they're threatening me on TikTok. Where? Where have you been threatened? Where? You can't just throw that accusation without have I charged me with something? I mean, if I threaten a prosecutor, you should be able to come here and put me in fucking handcuffs. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Where did they threaten you?
Where, this is a cup, where have this little Pakistani boy been touched? This is a cup.
Where were you threatened?
Where were you threatened? Here. I mean, she turns around and she shows that she has a bias. And if this was an impartial judge, he would throw her off the case. I mean, if this was an impartial judge,
he would release her communication to the lawyer. It's exculpatory information. I mean, we're sitting here worried about where Casey Fines got this information that Mustafa is a drug user. She's alleging he got it from Stafford.
What if you find out that she's the one that told him that? She's the one that said chop up the vehicle because we want to muddy up the water so we don't have to reconstruct this vehicle.
I believe it.
What if you find out that she's the one that told Chad Mason, go ahead, take the dash camera, I'll cover for you, go ahead and cut and mute this dash camera. I'm going to seal off this case anyway.
I believe it. And I think her communication I think every officer that is being on the Brady motion today, I think all their communication is relevant because we have to find out who they were talking to, why they were talking to these individuals, and why is this information not vetted? Every accusation about Mustafa was not vetted. They took it at face value. And they're taking this information from criminals, people with very serious criminal charges, like Glenn Ford, Tanisha Coleman. Okay? I mean, these people, they weaponized the children. And the police aided and abetted that type of behavior.
There are body cams that are removed.
It's one thing.
Absolutely.
It's one thing to say Tanisha Coleman and Glenn Ford abused the kids. They weaponized these children. But the police department had their hands in this abuse because the child said, Javen says, detectives told me Mustafa crashed a car and ran away. Wait, let's go back to what you were going to play.
No, I want to play that body cam. There are 3 body cams that I want to play and pretty much wrap up the podcast today.
Okay.
I think we're driving the point home. We need the communication.
You have to have our communication. You have to. I mean, there's no way around it.
You want to get to the bottom of what is going on in this case. I mean, 18 Brady motions were passed by Judge Carroll Weimer. And the only way to really get to the bottom of, not rely on this prosecutor that's approaching this case in bad faith. No, you release her communication.
By the way, I'll tell you, I just want to say one thing about her communication and who's contacting the prosecutor's office, who's putting in these false allegations against you, against me, against the family. I received a phone call on Monday. Okay, let me see. Where's my phone? Okay.
Before you go into that phone call, can I play the forensic interview?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because your phone call, we're going to end.
I'll talk about it, towards the end.
Yeah, we'll end it with that phone call. This is the forensic interview where Prosecutor Sarah Sami says, Your Honor, when Brad Haywood made the point that these children have been weaponized, Prosecutor Sarah Sami says to the judge, there is nothing there, Your Honor, nothing happened. And then Judge Weimer tell her, would you not agree that if those children were weaponized, that this is a giant problem with this case? You're using and relying on children that have been weaponized. She said, and then Judge Weimer asked, she says, yes, Your Honor, I would agree. Have you looked into the communication that between Romero and the children before they were walked into? First, she told him there were no communication. And then the defense attorney pushed on.
She said there's no communication with Romero?
She told him there is no communication. Clearly, we know that.
I mean, how the fuck is he on the report saying, and they're praising him for his
and
for
then,
his outstanding work with the children.
Exactly. So then the judge tells her, did you look into these communication and what kind of communication took place before the children went into the forensic? She said, no, Your Honor, I haven't looked into the communication.
So either you looked into it and you found nothing.
Mohammed.
Or like, what is it?
I mean, you're talking about a child that's been abused by the police department, a child that's on a forensic interview that this prosecutor has and sealed for 2.5 years, that the child is talking about, that the investigator told me Mustafa ran away, left my 5-year-old baby sister to bleed to death. And if he hadn't run away, the police could have saved her. This child is saying that the investigator told me. Now, wait a minute. Mustafa was in a coma. Mustafa was helicoptered to the hospital. This prosecutor sat on a child that's been weaponized, that's been abused by the police department.
So she told Judge Weimer that the
Why
children,
have you not looked into these communication? Clearly,
the
you're
children
protecting.
were not weaponized. Let's listen to what the child says.
When they got into the car crash, the detective said he jumped out and ran, left my baby sitting there. And if he
Pause it.
just thought,
I'm going to play it one more time.
Play it one more time.
when they got into the car crash, the detective said he jumped out and ran, left my baby sitting there. And if he just thought to bring her to the hospital, maybe she would have made it, but she didn't because he decided to be a coward, and now she's gone.
Wow.
And now all I have is my 2 brothers. She was the sweetest. She would never even hurt a fly. She was innocent too.
Wait, I thought this case is sealed to protect the children, to protect the witnesses, to protect the victim, to protect anybody
Forget
involved
all that.
in this.
I thought Sarah Sami said that the children were not weaponized.
You have a child that's telling you that they
Detectives told
abused
him
those children.
Detectives told him that when the police got to the crash, he had already fled the scene, leaving his baby sister to bleed to death. And if he wasn't a coward, then maybe his sister will be alive today. That's what detectives told a child that just lost his mother and sister.
So where is the communication before that child were walked into the forensic interview? Where's the body cam when Investigator Romero handled a 9, a 10, a 14, and a 16? Where are those fucking body cams?
That's a good point. Where's Sarah Sami's communication from April 5th to April 7th on that date?
So let me get this up. Let me get the optic. Judge Weimer tells her, you should go in and probe the police department for those body cam. The Brady motion, he passed that Brady motion that the children are weaponized. Now, why am I looking at a prosecutor after court laughing with internal affairs, Captain Bradley Doodley, that I already gave them everything? There's nothing there. This prosecutor clearly is protecting the police department. And then the judge seals off the communication that she had with investigator. Why? What are you sealing? What are you protecting here? Are you protecting that a police officer abused this child? Weaponized this child against Mustafa?
Are you protecting instructions from Sarah Sami telling the officer to weaponize the children?
Look, it's clear what's happening here. Whatever it takes to get Mustafa, even if you have to abuse the children in the process.
Even if it means committing crimes to get Mustafa.
The captain of internal affairs. Do me a favor. Go over to, I want to pull up
Unbelievable.
Captain Doodley. This is Captain, let's see. Internal Affairs, Captain Brandon Doodley.
Brandon, not Brad. Brandon.
Brandon Doodley. I mean, you're the captain of internal affairs. You have an obligation to protect those children. You have an obligation to get to the bottom of your police officer abusing and weaponizing those children. Instead, when I see you in court today, you run away like a fucking coward.
And he's laughing up with Sami.
And he's laughing with Sarah Sami. We're not going to give anything. We're not going to release anything. Because he's comfortable that the judge granted that the communication are going to be sealed. Who's going to verify? Sarah Sami going to probe into the... I mean, clearly she's laughing it up with internal affairs, talking about they're not going to release anything.
Every officer that is involved in this case that has committed, that had violated department policy, who lied, tampered with evidence, their communication is fair game.
Let me tell you, they think that Brad Haywood is fucking stupid.
I mean, by the way, not just Sarah Sami.
Listen to what I'm telling you.
Not just Sarah Sami.
Listen to what I'm telling you. They think that Mustafa's defense attorney is fucking stupid. They put on this fucking charade, this fucking show. Hey, Brad, we're going to pass all these Brady violations for you. We're going to pass them for you. And we're going to let the person that's been lying for the past 2.5 years to see if anything is there. But, hey, we're going to seal off our communication. What the fuck are we talking about?
I mean, that's crazy.
What the fuck are we talking about? You think Brad Hayward's going to let it go? I promise you he's not going to let it go. If they think he's fucking stupid, think again. Think again. You think you can play? You played with every lawyer that Mustafa had in the past. I promise you, you're not going to play with Mustafa's defense attorney today. This community is watching a whole entire case is all over the internet. The reason that what's his name? Brandon
Doodley.
Brandon Doodley. AI. I mean, have you ever seen the head of internal affairs, the captain of internal affairs for the police department? Have you ever seen he gets told that I have access into your server?
And he walks away.
And he walks away.
He walks away.
I've never seen. I mean, forget everything I said. Have you ever seen the police department, the head of internal affairs, gets told that I have access, my fingers are all the way up your asshole, and I'm moving up your lips, your lips for you.
He has no lips.
He has no lips.
What lips
have
are you
you ever
talking about?
heard internal affairs gets told that I have access into your server, that I have access into yourevidence.com, I have all your body cam, and he runs away? He walks away.
He says, I'm not here for an interview.
He said, I'm not here for an interview.
I can't do an interview.
I can't do an interview. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm speaking to you at my capacity as a member of this fucking community, that you are our police department. And instead, and I'm under the impression that you're showing up to hold those police officers accountable. Clearly, evidence show that this is a fucking car accident, and your police officer went after Mustafa because, one, he was suing the police.
They tampered with
and they have to put this Mustafa in this community on their watch, and Mustafa does not sue the police. That a white girl died in this car accident. Oh, so it doesn't matter if it's a fucking car accident. It doesn't matter anymore. Muhammad, it doesn't matter if it's a car accident. Mustafa has to be in jail. We have to falsify it, and it doesn't matter. Even if we have to abuse the children in the process.
Even if we have to falsify Mustafa's statements.
That's racism at its finest.
Even if we have to falsify Mustafa's statements.
God help you if you're dating a white girl, if your name is Mustafa, and you're dating a white girl. God help you in Prince William County. God help you if you get in a car accident. God help you if you're suing the fucking police. They're going to put you back in your place. I mean, Mustafa, 2.5 years, 2.5 solitary confinement. They refuse to take Mustafa to trial. I mean, Mustafa is sitting in a county jail in solitary confinement for 2.5 years without a trial. His evidence are not being put on the record. I mean, I have a body cam where we hired an independent expert only for the investigator that falsified Mustafa's statement. Tell him, Prosecutor Sarah Sami said, you're not going to reconstruct this vehicle. Defying a judge order. Mohammed, do me a favor. Go over to exhibits. A vehicle that has been crushed and staged by the police department.
Let's take a look.
Which one is it?
What's that?
Which one is
It's in a box. Per my conversation with Sarah, said this is the first time I've ever done this in 18 years. She said we can pull it out for you.
Yeah.
You can look at it. She doesn't want anybody touching it.
Okay. Like touching it, I mean, can I?
Like if you want to take pictures
Yeah.
and all that, but if,
I mean, even this is, by the way, this is an independent accident reconstructionist. He does this for a fucking living. And look at the way he is shocked when Drum tells him that the prosecutor says you can't touch it. He's shocked. He's like, what do you mean? Like, I can't, what do you mean? What do you mean I can't touch it? I'm here to reconstruct this accident. What do you mean I can't touch it?
Exactly.
He's never seen that before. He's never seen that. That never happens.
How could you reconstruct a vehicle accident if you can't touch the vehicle?
But then again, what was the communication behind Sarah Sami telling Drum, you can't allow the independent expert to touch the car? What was that conversation like?
Apparently, according to Judge Weimer, that's not relevant.
Oh,
He
it's very
denied.
relevant. It's very relevant.
He denied that her communication is to be released with the police department.
It's exculpatory evidence. Why is the prosecutor hiding information in this case specifically? And how many cases are like this?
Do me a favor.
How many instances was it where the police called Sarah Sami and she gives them the green light? Yeah, weaponize the children. Yeah, go ahead and crush his car. Yeah, go ahead and just rip the wire off the dash cam and I'll cover for you in trial. Just falsify his statement. Who gives a fuck? I'm going to seal everything off for you, so don't worry about it. You know, I guarantee you, when we do get Sarah Sami's communication, you're going to see it multiple times where she says, don't worry about it. I've already sealed it. Nobody's going to get to it. I guarantee you, I'm willing to put my life on it, that she told the officer, go ahead and fuck around because I've already sealed it. Nobody's going to get to it. Evidence.com, don't worry about it. We'll just not give the lawyer that body cam, or we'll just not give the lawyer that piece of information. And I guarantee you, there's a side file that has all this exculpatory information. All the body cams were missing, all the reports. Romero.
That's what
Davis.
Brad Haywood brought that up, and she's telling Judge Weimer, Your Honor, I need permission from you to go in and see a log and see which officer uploaded which body cam, which officer removed a specific body cam to a separate file. Your Honor, I need your permission. The judge got so angry, he said, you're the prosecutor. Anything that the police has, you don't need my permission. I mean, do you see what I'm talking about? There's a separate file that's incriminating to the police that they're actively removing body cams, cutting and chopping a body cam, uploading to the server, and that's what they're giving Brad Haywood. Okay, they think Brad Haywood's stupid. That he's not gonna fucking figure this out.
Okay, let me say this. They were trying to take Mustafa into trial December of last year. Is that not right?
That's right.
Okay. Why is it that it takes almost 10 lawyers, 2.5 years to get one body cam called Andrew Margiotta? Okay. Why is it that Brad Haywood has to push and fight tooth and nail 2.5 years later to get the Andrew Margiotta body cam? Can you imagine? They would have sent Mustafa to trial back in December.
The most important, crucial piece of evidence.
Back in December, he could have went to trial, and you have body cams that are hidden till this day.
I mean, the whole point of today, the 18 Brady points that were passed, is just to get to the exculpatory evidence.
Listen, if in Prince William County you have to hire 30 lawyers to get all the exculpatory evidence, that's fucking bullshit. That's bullshit. Nobody's going to hire 20, 30 lawyers just to, every time you get a new lawyer, he's going to push back and get one more body cam. Every time you get a new lawyer, he's going to push back again and get another body cam. Bullshit. Release the whole fucking file. Give it to the attorney. It's exculpatory information. By law, you have to release it. What the hell are they sitting on this information for? Okay? It took 2.5 years to get Andrew Margiotta's body cam, which, by the way, nobody would have ever thought of asking for it had you not stolen the file. There's a whole statement by Andrew Margiotta where he said, I recorded on my body-worn camera. I was the first on the scene. And if you hadn't stolen that statement, who knows? Casey Stephen hit it. 9 other lawyers on this case never asked about it.
Never talked about it.
Never talked about it.
Never brought this up.
Never mentioned it because your defendant is sitting in solitary confinement, and you've sealed every piece of information from this case from the defendant.
You know,
by
I'll
law,
tell you,
you violated his due process.
I'll tell you, if when you're watching and listening to what took place in court today. By the way, Judge Weimer is not doing.
I mean, this is a drama.
Is not doing a favor by granting these Brady motions.
It's a show.
It's a show.
It's a show for the transcript. It's a show for the police.
He's telling this community that the body cams that you're watching that they're missing. You're watching that the police department crushed and staged this vehicle. You're watching that an officer cut and muted this dash cam. You're watching that the children have been weaponized. Well, I, as the judge, granted these Brady motion to move forward. By the way, he's not doing anybody a favor. It's on body cam that these are Brady violations, that the police department botched up this whole entire case. Now, they're doing a cover-up by allowing the prosecutor, it's at her discretion, to probe the police department and see what comes up. What the fuck are we talking about? After, of course, she's laughing with AI, internal affairs, that there's nothing that she's going to give up. You don't have to worry about anything. There's nothing to give up. I've already given the defense everything. They're laughing about it. And the judge seals off the communication from the defense because he's going to he can actually verify what actually took place. You can't leave it up to the prosecutor.
To the same prosecutor that's lying. I mean, I'll tell you.
Do me a favor. Go over to exhibit. I want to play this board. Yeah, go ahead.
Every communication between officers and the prosecutor has to be released to the defense attorney. Not just the prosecutor. Every officer, what Casey Fines texted Robert Drum, what Robert Drum texted his wife, what Robert Drum texted Evelyn Horton, okay? What Evelyn Horton texted Robert Drum and his wife.
You're charging someone with murder.
Okay.
You're charging someone with murder. You've held him in solitary for 2.5 years, and you don't want to give up exculpatory evidence?
By the way, what did Robert Davis, what kind of information was exchanged between Rob Davis and Glenn Ford? What kind of information was exchanged between Robert Drum and Tanisha Coleman? Okay. What was exchanged between Casey Fines and the witnesses on the scene? Okay. All this information is relevant. Why is it relevant? Because you clearly fucking lied. You tampered with his car. You tampered with his dash camera. You manipulated and abused the children. You manipulated the witnesses on the scene. You've stopped an independent accident reconstructionist from looking into the car. Look, at some point you have to stop and think. Okay? Why is it that every step of the way there's a violation of department policy? There's somebody tampering with something, somebody cutting something, somebody deleting something. Somebody's always doing something. I mean, I have yet to look at one piece of information in this case that hasn't been screwed around with by the police, by the prosecutor. Why are they? I mean, at this point in time, every piece of communication between the police, between the prosecutors, between the alleged witnesses is relevant here.
I have a transcript.
You've built a whole entire case based on lies.
I have a transcript where Chad Mason gets on the stand and tells Judge Weimer that I broke the chain of custody. I took the dash camera back to my car. 2 days later, I decided to get a warrant.
So what is Brandon Doodley doing about it?
He runs away. Today, I would have loved to have a conversation with him and tell him, sir, I have evidence that your police officer lied. Instead, captain of internal fucking affairs, that your job is to protect this community. Your job is to get to the bottom of police officer that lie and falsify.
He has one job.
He runs away. Instead, he wants to protect these police officers. It doesn't matter that his police officer abused children in the process. It doesn't fucking matter. Whatever it takes, you have to get Mustafa. Whatever fucking takes. And God help this community if this is what we have as internal affairs at this police department.
Brandon, you had one job. You have one job. Internal affairs. You're a captain. That means you've been there for a really, really long time. This is probably his life. This is what he does for a living.
I mean, he's betting on the fact that this communication is going to get sealed. And if they think that Brad Hayward is just going to let it go.
How are you going to seal this? How are you going to seal it? Look at this. Look at this. How are you going to seal that? You can't seal it. It's been unsealed. You can't dress it back up. You have to address it. You have to address the issue. Your officers falsified this entire case. They built it out of thin air. It's a car accident. I mean, can you imagine today, 2.5 years later, we still don't know the steering angle from the two cars? Why is that so? Why is that so? You want to tell me this is not a malicious prosecution? When two vehicles collide, how many?
Especially when the officer says that Mustafa cleared all the vehicle, made it to the fourth lane.
How many investigators?
And the SUV turned into Mustafa. Where's the fucking steering angle?
How many investigators? How many officers' body cams do you have? Like over 30. How many officers are involved in this case? Probably over 30. How many prosecutors do you have? Probably over 6. Okay? How many lawyers did we get? Maybe 10, maybe 11, who knows? A really more than usual number. 2.5 years later, we still don't know the steering angle.
Because you have a judge that's entertaining.
I mean, what the fuck is going on?
You have a judge that's entertaining.
This is not about a car. By the way, this is not about a car accident anymore.
It's not about a car accident.
This is not about a car accident.
Mustafa has to be put back into his place.
This is definitely not about a car accident. This is something much more sinister.
God help you if you're dating a white girl at Prince William County. God help you if you get in a car accident. God help you if you sue the fucking police.
God help you if Chad Mason shows up to the scene. Or Robert Drum.
You know, I'll tell you,
Casey Fines.
to really understand where this judge is at, where Judge Carroll Weimer is at. On the last motion, Judge Weimer passed a motion. He granted a motion where they're going to inspect Mustafa's SD card. Now that we have digital forensic, Cassie Zymuth says there is audio, and this piece of shit, Chad Mason, cut and edited the dash camera. The defense attorney, Brad Haywood, is going to bring an independent expert, and he's going to inspect the metadata and get to the bottom and release the whole thing. Is get the audio and the full dash camera. And so they're hiring an independent expert to look at the metadata on the SD card in that dash camera that the police department is in possession of. Judge Weimer turns around and he says, I'd like to put a seal on the data on what comes out from the SD cards from the family.
I mean, I noticed that.
Wait a minute. Why would you seal it from the family?
Every step of the way.
No, wait a minute.
They're sealing.
Now, the problem here is the prosecutor has been arguing for 2.5 years that there's an argument inside the vehicle, right?
Yeah.
That's what she says,
Okay.
right?
That's what she tells the public.
That's what she tells the community. That's what they say on NBC4, that there's an argument inside the vehicle, even though you see Mustafa and Dorsey are passing back and forth a cigarette, a dash camera that's sealed, by the way.
Now we're getting to the point where the audio is going to come out.
It's going to come out. Now, why would you seal it from the family? You're insinuating that if you don't seal it from the family is going to release it. Now, wait a minute. Your prosecutor is arguing that there's going to be an argument inside the vehicle. Now, wait a minute. If there is an argument...
Wouldn't you want the public to see it?
I mean,
Would you not want the public to hear the argument?
Do you see what I'm talking about here? They know the audio is coming out.
They know
there is no argument, and
they
they're
know
terrified.
The music is playing loud.
Judge Weimer, you want to tell me Judge Weimer is not protecting this police department, this prosecutor? Of course he is.
Remember, we're talking about the same judge that denied or took back Mustafa's bond a week later and stopped the evidence from coming into court. Testimony from witnesses.
In that motion, she tells Judge Weimer, Your Honor, the Commonwealth attorney is not going to be happy with you. Today, she tells the judge, it's dangerous, Your Honor.
Let me stop you right there.
It's dangerous to probe into these police officers. What do you mean?
Let me stop you right there.
Why is it dangerous to look into these police officers?
Let me stop you right there. You just said that the prosecutor told the judge, Your Honor, the Commonwealth attorney is not going to be happy with you. You know, I'd like to say I want communication between what the judge had communications with Amy Ashworth about this case. I would like to know what Amy Ashworth said to Judge Carroll Weimer back in April of 2024 when Mustafa was supposed to get bond. I would like to know what Judge Weimer's communications look like with the prosecutors. Because clearly Clearly, Judge Weimer had communications with Amy Ashworth in that 1 week period after he granted bond and a week later said, I'm taking back my bond.
I mean, what is she threatening him with?
What communication occurred between the judge and the Commonwealth attorney without the presence of Mustafa's defense attorney? That's called ex parte communication. And according to the law, that's illegal. You can't have ex parte communications behind the defense attorney's back.
They're buying.
It's illegal.
They're buying time, by the way.
So for you to try to seal Sarah Sami's communication, we want your communication.
By the way, they know that Brad Haywood is not going to let this go.
And I guarantee you it's incriminating.
By the way, they know that
it's incriminating.
They know that Brad Haywood is not going to let this go. They know that. All they're doing now is they're buying time. They're hoping that the show they put on today is gonna. They think that Mustafa's defense attorney is.
He's gonna be like, yes, I got these motions.
I got this motion. I won.
I won the majority of it. Well, the most crucial is Sarah Sami's communication and what officers were communicating amongst themselves.
I think that's the most basic thing you can ask in this case. You talk about a vehicle that's been crushed and staged. You have evidence that the children have been weaponized. You have evidence that Mustafa's statement has been falsified. You have evidence that they cut and muted the dash camera. And you want to tell me you don't want to find out the communication between the prosecutor and those officers that engaged in falsifying a whole entire case? Specifically, when on body cam, they're saying Sarah Sami said not to do this, not to reconstruct Mustafa's vehicle. By the way, all throughout the body cams, they're updating Sarah Sami. What communication did the prosecutor have with the police officers?
Yeah, and what communications did the police have with the children? Because according to the body cams, they have the children on speed dial. And they're talking to them behind the parents' back, behind an adult's back, off the record. There's no record of Rob Davis speed dialing Kylie Clapp. She's a minor. She's one of the children. Okay, there's no record of him calling Kylie Clapp, and he has her on speed dial. He's calling her as he's driving. We have your body cam, sir.
All you can do, Prosecutor Sarah Sami, is buy time. All you can do is buy time, but that's not going to help you. The community is maturing into finding out what is going on in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Mustafa's defense attorney, Brad Haywood, is maturing into finding out what you've been doing in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case for the past 2.5 years. You're terrified to share your communication with the police officer. Where there is smoke, there is fire. And you played around with every lawyer that entered this case. Well, you're not going to be able to play with this defense attorney. Brad Haywood did an amazing job today. A beautiful job. On that note, I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank everybody. Did you mute me?
No.
Okay. I want to thank everybody for being here. Don't forget to. I don't think I did. Yeah. Did you want to say anything before we end? All right, so we're not going to end the podcast yet. There's a couple of things that we want to talk about. I want to thank everybody for being here. Don't forget to share the podcast. We're being heavily shadow banned. We're being blocked by the media. The media, NBC4, Julie Carey. Where the fuck are you, man? Why am I updating this community on a case that you originally lied about?
I mean, wait.
So-
Wait a second before you go on break. You mean to tell me one of the biggest motions in Mustafa Al-Jazari case and Julie Carey didn't show up?
She's nowhere to be found.
I wonder why. Maybe because it's not something that's beneficial to the police department. This is something that sheds light on the reality of Mustafa's case. So, of course, she's not going to be there because if she's there, she's going to be forced to report on it.
You know what I'll tell you? I'll tell you something that's really funny. This platform is growing every day. This community is finding out about Mustafa's case. So whether Julie Carey wants to report on it or not, as a matter of fact, it really makes Julie Carey look bad because you came out with a story. You told this community 1, 2, and 3. Now we're finding 1, 2, 3, and 4 are lies. You've lied for the police department. And now the community, they don't have to take my word for it. I'm releasing the fucking file on the internet.
You're releasing...
And if you're... the transcripts.
We're releasing the transcripts. Where's this camera? Right there? We're releasing your transcript, Chad Mason.
That terrified Internal Affairs today. Here, I've never seen Internal Affairs run from someone, especially when I'm telling him I have access into your server.
He's a captain. He's a captain. He's supposed to be doing the work that ensures you can trust your police department. That's his job.
You know, I'll tell you something. They were betting on this channel. The Commonwealth Attorney already mechanized the courts, already used the court to come after me, and she miserably failed. There is nothing they can do. The police department cannot come after me because I'm in communication with certain individuals that are watching this police department, and they're going to hold them accountable by law.
Let alone you have a First Amendment. You have a constitutional right in this country.
The court doesn't work. They can't shut down this channel. So if they were betting on this channel shutting down, well, that didn't work.
I mean, it's so sad. Julie Carey wasn't there today. It's really sad. I mean you know, she gives the phrase fake news a whole new meaning.
A whole
new meaning. Because people, when they hear fake news, they think, oh, this must be like on a higher level. Like you have to be a politician to be attacked by the fake news. You have to be like somebody who's high profile.
I mean, think about it. How can she cover this up for the police department? She can't.
For the media to attack you, you have to be high profile. You have to be like...
Well, apparently, not in Prince William County. All it takes is suing the police and dating a white girl.
I mean, people think that the media will attack you.
And it doesn't matter if it's a car accident or not.
They're going to tarnish you if you're high profile. If you're like... And people think that's never going to be me. Like, I'm not going to be a politician. I'm not going to be somebody who's always on the news, one of those senators, delegates, people that always are on the news. People think I'm not going to be those kind of people, so I don't have to worry about the fake news. Well, this is what the fake news is doing to the community. Imagine if they're doing that to Mustafa. How many other cases are they doing this to?
Do we have to imagine? I mean, don't we have a body cam of Tatiana David?
You literally have a body
killed
cam
by the police.
Exactly. You have
dragged out of a car who allegedly they said we found her outside the car, and I have a body cam where police are dragging this poor girl after they killed her from the vehicle to outside the vehicle, and they're covering this up. And then Amy Ashworth seals it.
And for anybody to say you just don't like the police, you dislike the police, that's why you say they murdered Tatiana David. Well, you don't have to take Amar's word for it or my word. You can listen to a lawyer who's been practicing for over 20 years out of Warren County talk about Tatiana David. And what does she say? She said police killed this woman and they tried to cover it up. Okay? What happened to that lawyer out of Warren County? Oh, they
gave her an ultimatum. Either go after the brother.
Amar, they deemed her crazy.
They forced her into being crazy.
They labeled her...
Amy Ashworth forced this lawyer who came out against her. Either you admit that you're crazy and go after the brother, or I'm removing your bar license.
And she said, I'm crazy. She said, fuck it, I'm crazy. But the police did kill that woman. That's what she said. You don't have to take my word. You don't have to take Amar's word.
Here, let's watch the lawyer tell her story.
Okay, you can listen for yourself. While you watch that, we're
because
going to
she
take a
was
break. Clearly, she's on video saying she was threatened. In another video where she's exiting the courthouse, she tells a bystander who recorded her, she tells a bystander that the Prince William County prosecutors do not believe me. They don't believe me when I tell them he already had the files. So they're coming after me either way, and I'm looking at facing jail time.
But
Okay.
I'm looking at losing my bar license. I'm looking at jail time, doing jail because they stole from me.
I was confused on how everything. I mean, last time I was here and I spoke to you, you know what I'm saying? You were going after David, after the
100%.
person.
And
I gave you where the person was located out. So
in civil court, Omar stood up and told the judge that he was going to defy the preliminary injunction, that he was going to release all the videos. And he told them that on November 1st. And at that point, that's when I had to fire him, because what he was threatening to release is under a protective order. I signed the protective order. He's releasing all this crap on the internet about his brother's case. All kinds of videos that he has no right to be releasing. He's also releasing basically gore porn of Tatiana David, who got killed by the Virginia State Police. And he's released all of that. None of that should be released. Tatiana David should not be on with her breast bare. That is not
and
right.
that motherfucker who they're charged should not be the one being fully charged either.
It's this,
and that they put for another year.
And I've told the Virginia State Police that I'm afraid they're going to kill me because I've spoken out about it. And I'm still afraid they're going to kill me. Now I'm afraid they're going to railroad me and set me up for something that I have not done.
You're afraid of who?
The Virginia State Police.
Okay.
I'm afraid of the police.
Gotcha.
I'm afraid of the police. I am 53 years old. I have never been in trouble.
You know what's really interesting? You have this lawyer that's been with being a lawyer for 20 years talking about, I'm afraid of the police. I'm terrified of the police. She's terrified from the police when the police are running away from me. Like, how does that make any sense? Like, I'm here chasing after Captain Dickhead. I'm like, hey, Captain Dickhead with Internal Affairs, are you watching what I'm watching? Your officer cut and muted this dash camera. Captain Dickhead. Captain Dickhead Doodley, your officer weaponized and abused the children. He's running away. I swear, I've never seen a fucking guy run so fast.
So the police run away from you and they chase after Elaine?
I've never seen anything like this. I'm like, wait, aren't you our police department? He's like, no, I'm not.
It's like, you're not Julie Carey.
You're not Julie Carey. I'm not releasing any interviews. What fucking interviews? I'm talking to you as a member of this fucking community that on the impression that, hey, you're Internal Affairs. You're here to protect this fucking community.
You mean, Doodley, you just heard 18 Brady motions being filed. What do you have to say to me?
That is crazy.
That's my brother in jail.
I mean, no wonder he's running away.
Like, you can't at least assure me that you're going to follow guidelines and policy, and
you would expect that's the conversation.
Like,
instead, he's doing a cover-up.
I mean,
he wants to protect the police officer that abused those children.
If he was professional, he would have stood there and said, sir, we are going to make sure that whatever violations, whatever misconduct is going to be thoroughly looked into. Why can't you be like Sean Shelton?
Why can't you be? What happened to Sean Shelton?
Sean Shelton, I mean, like the conversation we had with Sean Shelton, it wasn't true, but it was like, at least it gave you hope.
At least he's faking it. At least, this guy just runs away.
Like, Sean Shelton gave you hope. Like, you looked at him and you're like this guy belongs he's where he belongs. Okay, even though it was fake.
Look,
I don't know.
We're gonna take a short break. When we come back, we're gonna talk about a couple of more things. Don't forget to share the podcast. Apparently, NBC4 and Channel 7 and our media outlet is in the back pocket of the police department.
They're definitely not on your side.
They're definitely not on your side. They're here to protect officers that engage in police misconduct. You would think when the file hits the internet that this case is falsified, that this is a vehicle accident, that Mustafa lost his family in a tragic vehicle accident, that this is a car accident. children have been weaponized and abused against Mustafa, you think Julie Carrier would show up and fix the story. But apparently, she's on the payroll of the police department. To cover up for this police department, she's nowhere to be found. Now, for you to do your job, that we can get to the bottom of it, share the podcast. Share it on your Facebook, on your Instagram, on your TikTok account. Hit the like button.
Really,
and support this podcast. You can, there's a button on here that you can click and support this podcast, or you can send through Cash App, Not Boring Pod, to support our platform so we can keep talking about what they're doing in this case and what they're doing behind closed doors to this community.
Look, I want to say the media's job, the media's ultimate job is to hold public officials' feet to the fire.
Not here.
They have to hold public officials' feet to the fire so that they can do the right thing.
Not a Prince William County.
Okay, when they misbehave, the media is what puts pressure on public officials.
According to Prosecutor Sarah Sami, it's dangerous to probe into these officers.
I mean, this is the
Why
media.
is it dangerous?
This is the media's job.
Is she scared?
You're doing the media's job.
Is she threatening the judge?
I mean, you're essentially the only piece of media left in Prince William County, because today nobody was there. 18 Brady motions. A man who's been sitting behind bars in solitary confinement, sexually abused, beaten, deprived his rights, a United States citizen, 2.5 years, and the media is nowhere to be found.
It's a cover-up. It's a cover. They're hoping that they're buying time.
What?
They're hoping that this is going to go away. Well, we're here, and I'll promise you, by the time we're done with this,
I have no words for it.
The same way I told Captain Dickhead with Internal Affairs, your police officer are going to go to jail. I've got access into your server, and we're sharing these files with the community. And by the time I'm done with you, you're going to get yourself a lawsuit, and you're going to end up in jail. You and the officers that you're protecting.
Well, he's complicit.
And he runs away.
He listened today. So we'll see what he does.
He is complicit. We're going to take a short break. Thank you for being here. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Weimer, you're under the microscope.
In a cell, no trial, no voice. Truth buried deep, but we ain't got no choice. They tried to erase them, break them apart, but we scream free Mustafa from the soul, from the heart. They falsified the paper, twisted every word, turned a car crash to murder, like justice never heard. Dorothy and Empress, angels in the sky. Now they blame a broken man while the real ones lie. A badge and a pen, that's all it took. Signed his fate with a false report and a dirty look.
Wherever the ambulance on the other side. What the fuck that guy doing?
We scream Mustafa, loud through the chains. Justice corrupted, drowning in pain. From the cell block to the street, we'll never stop till the walls fall down and the charges drop. Free Mustafa, it's more than a name. It's a movement, a mission, exposing the game to Trump and Cash. Hear our cry, bring the truth to light, let the innocent fly. Amy Ashworth, playing judge and the jury in a county so dirty, soaked in fury. Police in the courts all in on the plot. They framed an innocent man and left his soul to rot, but his family's out marching, banners held high, while supporters flood timelines, refusing to lie. They want silence, we give them the storm. Truth blazing through like justice reborn. Every post, every chant, every sleepless night is a spark in the dark that's ready to ignite. This ain't just a song, it's a battle cry for every soul locked up while the guilty lie. We free Mustafa, loud through the chains. Justice corrupted, drowning in pain. From the cell block to the street, we'll never stop till the walls fall down and the charges drop. Free Mustafa, it's more than a name. It's a movement, a mission, exposing the game to Trump and Cash. Hear our cry, bring the truth to light, let the innocent fly. 2 years too long, time to rise above. Truth is power when fueled by love. So 2 years in a cell, no trial, no voice. Truth buried deep, but we ain't got no choice. They tried to erase them, break them apart, but we scream free Mustafa. From the soul, from the heart. They falsified the paper, twisted every word, turned a car crash to murder, like justice never heard. Dorothy and Empress, angels in the sky. Now they blame a broken man while the real ones lie. A badge and a pen, that's all it took. Signed his fate with a false report and a dirty look.
Wherever the fuck you on the other side, what the fuck that guy doing? Follow him and get the
We scream Mustafa, loud through the chains. Justice corrupted, drowning in pain. From the cell block to the street, we'll never stop till the walls fall down and the charges drop. Free Mustafa, it's more than a name, it's a movement, a mission. Exposing the game to Trump and Cash. Hear our cry, bring the truth to light, let the innocent fly. Amy Ashworth, playing judge and the jury in a county so dirty, soaked in fury. Police and the courts all in on the plot. They framed an innocent man and left his soul to rot. But his family's out marching, banners held high, while supporters flood timelines, refusing to lie. They want silence, we give them the storm. Truth blazing through like justice reborn. Every post, every chant, every sleepless night is a spark in the dark that's ready to ignite. This ain't just a song, it's a battle cry for every soul locked up while the guilty lie. We free Mustafa, loud through the chains. Justice corrupted, drowning in pain. From the cell block to the street, we'll never stop till the walls fall down and the charges drop. Free Mustafa, it's more than a name, it's a movement, a mission. Exposing the game to Trump and Cash. Hear our cry, bring the truth to light, let the innocent fly. 2 years too long, time to rise above. Truth is power when fueled by love. So we'll march, we'll fight, we'll never let go until Mustafa walks free and the whole world knows. In a cell, no trial, no voice. Truth buried deep, but we ain't got no choice. They tried to erase them, break them apart, but we scream free Mustafa. From the soul, from the heart. They falsified the paper, twisted every word, turned a car crash to murder, like justice never heard. Dorothy and Empress, angels in the sky. Now they blame a broken man while the real ones lie. A badge and a pen, that's all it took. Signed his fate with a false.
This is now another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cams. Judge Carroll Weimer, you are under the microscope, and the community is the deciding factor. Now, we started this podcast asking questions. We said, is this judge impartial? And I'm asking you directly, Judge Carroll Weimer, are you impartial in this case? Are you waking up to our reality that you're finding out that a prosecutor is lying to you, using police officer that falsified this whole entire case, weaponizing and abusing children in the process, chopping up a vehicle, using police officer that chopped up a vehicle, staged it, only to block and go against a motion that you put through to get this vehicle reconstructed 2.5 years ago. And today, we want to reconstruct this vehicle, and you just passed a motion to reconstruct. Are you impartial in this case? Are you waking up to a reality that you're finding out that Mustafa's statements are falsified? Are you waking up to a reality that Officer Chad Mason cut and muted the dash camera that they showed you during a bond motion that you granted after you saw the chopped up dash camera? You saw the chopped up dash camera, the edited dash camera, and you granted Mustafa a bond only for her to come back with some bullshit, threaten you, and say the Commonwealth attorney is not going to be happy with you. Are you waking up to a reality where Prosecutor Sarah Sami is lying to you? Or are you complicit? The community is the deciding factor. They're watching this file that I stole from the server, that I stole from the Commonwealth Attorney. This file is no longer sealed, sir. This file is being decimated all over the internet. The community is watching these body cam, watching these documents, and it's no longer my word against the police department. Are you waking up to that reality? The community is a deciding factor.
You know, I just want to say, you and I were just talking about something that I think is really important that's going to drive this thing home. Okay? You're talking about Captain Doodley.
With internal affairs. I'm frustrated. I'm very frustrated.
Sean Shelton.
You know, you expect Captain Doodley
Lieutenant
with
Spino.
internal affairs to have a conversation with you. The fact that you have this file and that you have evidence that this is a car accident, Mustafa lost his family in a tragic vehicle accident, that your police officers falsified this case. You expect your internal affairs, that this police department is your police department, that they're going to have a conversation. Instead, Captain Dickhead runs away from you. I have every right to be frustrated. Now, am I sitting here telling you that every police officer is responsible for what's happening in this case? Absolutely not. The police department, the majority of police, is here to protect the community. The majority of police is here to serve this community. They're from this community. You need the police department.
And I mean, a lot of officers disagree with what they're watching. I meet a lot of officers out there in public.
Captain Doodley
You meet a lot of officers, and they disagree 100% with what's going on. And they tell you, I can't believe internal affairs has not done something about it.
I mean, it's possible that, hey, the prosecutor, Sarah Sami, is standing there laughing with you after court and telling you, we're not going to probe into your body cams. We already released. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to.
His job is to probe internally.
It's possible that,
That's why he's internal affairs.
It's possible that, you're entertaining this prosecutor, but behind the scene, you're actually possibly fucking doing your job. I mean, you watched 18 Brady violation move forward.
It's in
Judge Carroll Weimer approved it. You got to see that today, that your police officer falsified this whole entire case. Is it possible that behind the scene, when you're not talking to this prosecutor, that you're actually doing your job? It's possible. But we're going to get to the bottom of it, and we're going to find out. And I think this community is demanding it. You want to talk about public safety? You're in a position to protect public safety. Your job is to not allow these police officers to continue to falsify cases.
To violate the law, flat out. They're violating the law. They're breaking the law. I mean, this is the definition of breaking the law. And we're not saying all police are bad. I'm sure 99.9% of police are good people. But the ones in Mustafa's case on body cam, tampering with his dash cam, tampering with his car, abusing children, falsifying statements, those are bad police officers. I mean, I think everybody can agree, including Captain Doodley today, would agree that an officer falsifying somebody's statement is a bad cop. Okay? He would agree, and I think Chief Newsham would agree, that if you tamper with evidence, you're a criminal. Okay? If you tamper with a dash cam, if you chop up the vehicle, specifically to muddy up the water in Mustafa's case, if you block an expert from examining the evidence because you have something to hide.
I mean, if you're telling us that Mustafa...
I think with 100% certainty that Chief Newsham is not going to stand there. By the way, you think Captain Doodley enjoys coming out of his cave to watch a Brady motion go through about his own officers? I'm sure he doesn't. Okay? You have officers that are bringing nothing but shame to this police department. Okay? I mean, go through the police department's Facebook. Okay? Every image is a celebration of why an officer was moved up to master police officer, why somebody was just promoted to lieutenant, why somebody just took the rank of captain. Okay? How an officer helped a family that was in need, how an officer joined in, pitched in, took the extra mile and helped the community, built that bridge between police and community. I'm sure Chief Newsham loves these stories. I'm sure the community loves to hear these kind of stories. Okay? I'm sure with 100% certainty that Captain Doodley, Sean Shelton, okay, Lieutenant Sean Shelton, Lieutenant David Spino, Chief of Police Peter Newsham, I'm sure they would love to hear more stories like that. And I don't think they like coming out to court where they have to sit in the back of a courtroom and watch their officers get Brady'd motioned, okay, over and over and over, 18 counts. I mean, nobody likes that. We don't like that. But when you commit a crime, whether you're an officer or you're a member of the community, you have to be punished. And what we're watching today is a malicious prosecution of Mustafa. And we are watching officers in high ranks. I mean, master police officer. That is your whole life. That's your career. Okay? Master police officer, Drum. Falsified, tampered, Rob Davis, Rob Sermon, Casey Fines. I mean, these officers are in high-ranking positions. They are setting the tone. They are setting the examples for new recruits. Is this what you want leading your police department? Like, is this the news coverage that you want out of your police department? You want the community to watch you protect lying cops? Nobody wants to watch that. And I'm sure you don't enjoy it. Okay? But we are here to tell you, you have to do the right thing. When you see wrongdoing, you have to act on it. If you see an officer tamper with something, I'll say, fellow officers, report it. I know it's probably, it's hard to do because they'll probably fire you, but you have to speak out. Because you are setting the new generation of officers. Robert Drum, Rob Davis, these are old people. I mean, they're stuck like in the old days. The racists.
You have officers,
the dirty cops, like
racist police officers.
Nobody wants these cops in their community. They're watching
a tragic vehicle accident, and they're saying this is Mustafa, and his girlfriend is white. Mustafa does not deserve due process. They don't care that this is a car accident. They're telling you that we're going to destroy evidence. Mustafa's not going to have due process. And if Captain Doodley, this happened on your watch. You got to watch 18 Brady motion move forward. On your watch, you get to see that your police officer engaged in falsifying this case. Now, if you're betting on the fact, I don't know what you're betting on, but if you're betting on the fact that Mustafa is not going to have due process, think again, sir. We are not going away. Mustafa is going to have his day in court. The evidence are going to be on the record, and we're going to get to the bottom of what your police officer did in this case. We're going to get the communication from Sarah Sami between her and the police officers.
And I'll say, when the dust finally settles...
So you're going to have your day in court.
When the dust finally settles, okay, there are federal prosecutors, there's FBI, there's DOJ that are actively looking at this case.
Mustafa's coming home.
And they're looking at Doodley, they're looking at Chief Newsham, what he does, okay? By the way, you can try to seal, but you see this transcript? This transcript specifically incriminates Chad Mason and Robert Drum. Okay? You don't need us to tell you to do your job for you. You have access to evidence.com just like we had access to it.
A transcript that says Officer Chad Mason cut and muted the dash camera in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case.
Nobody, by the way, I don't give a damn where you stand on the Mustafa case. I think every person in this world would agree that an officer tampering with evidence, abusing children, and falsifying is the wrong thing. I think everybody can agree on that. Regardless of where you stand on this political spectrum, you can agree that an officer violating the law needs to be punished.
Due process. We want to get to the bottom of what's going on in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case.
That's all I have to say.
Evidence that showed this is a car accident. Evidence that showed that the police tampered with this case.
And you can no longer seal it.
And you can no longer seal it. You can't protect these police officers. A case that's been falsified. A vehicle that's been crushed and staged. A dash camera that's been cut and muted. Children that have been abused and weaponized against Mustafa.
By the way, you don't have to look further than the warrant that was issued on April 7th. I think, you know, for anybody that's following this case, you look at the warrant, and that warrant should tell you everything you need to know about what kind of malicious prosecution is going on here. Okay? If you go into the details, you're going to get highly disturbed.
My favorite part for the past 2.5 years, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, anybody that inquire about the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, she tells him, you don't know what evidence I have.
You don't know what I know.
You don't know what I know. And she sealed off the file from anybody that inquire about this case. Well, today, I have your file. I put it on the internet that the community can verify what you have.
You have the file.
And what you have.
And it's not looking good for them. It's not looking good for them.
You have officers that falsified a whole entire case. You're protecting officers that abuse and weaponize
Not
children.
you, by the way. Sarah Sami, you are protecting criminals. Criminals with a badge.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Commonwealth Amy Ashworth doesn't know what her prosecutor is doing. And that's why Prosecutor Sarah Sami is so terrified that her communication is going to come out. That's a good possibility. That's a good question.
Her communication is coming out one way or another.
Absolutely.
It's going to come out.
Absolutely.
Okay, and I think Sarah Sami has a lot to answer for. She has a lot to answer for.
She has a lot to answer for. On that note, thank you for being here. This is not another boring podcast. Don't forget to share the podcast. Don't forget to support the podcast. You can support the podcast by donating into the Cash App, Not Boring Pods. You can click a button and you can directly support this podcast. Hit the like button, share the podcast. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Carroll Weimer, you're under the microscope, and the community is the deciding factor.
Report in a dirty look.
Wherever the fuck is on the other side, what the fuck that guy do? Follow him and get the hell gone.
And again, scream Mustafa, loud through the chains. Justice corrupted, drowning in pain. From the cell block to the street, we'll never stop till the walls fall down and the charges drop. Free Mustafa, it's more than a name. It's a movement, a mission, exposing the game to Trump and Cash. Hear our cry, bring the truth to light, let the innocent fly. Amy Ashworth, playing judge and the jury in a county so dirty, soaked in fury. Police and the courts all in on the plot. They framed an innocent man and left his soul to rot. But his family's out marching, banners held high, while supporters flood timelines, refusing to lie. They want silence, we give them the storm. Truth blazing through like justice reborn. Every post, every chant, every sleepless night is a spark in the dark that's ready to ignite. This ain't just a song, it's a battle cry for every soul locked up while the guilty lie. We free Mustafa, loud through the chains. Justice corrupted, drowning in pain. From the cell block to the street, we'll never stop till the walls fall down and the charges drop. Free Mustafa, it's more than a name. It's a movement, a mission, exposing the game to Trump and Cash. Hear our cry, bring the truth to light, let the innocent fly. 2 years too long, time to rise above. Truth is power when fueled by love. So we'll march, we'll fight, we'll never let go until Mustafa walks free and the whole world knows. In a cell, no trial, no voice. Truth buried deep, but we ain't got no choice. They tried to erase him, break him apart, but we scream free Mustafa from the soul, from the heart. They falsified the paper, twisted every word, turned a car crash to murder like justice never heard. Dorothy and Empress, angels in the sky. Now they blame a broken man while the real ones lie. A badge and a pen, that's all it took. Signed his fate with a false report and a dirty look.
Wherever the fuck is on the other side, what the fuck that guy do? Follow him and get the hell gone.
And again, scream Mustafa, loud through the chains. Justice corrupted, drowning in pain. From the cell block to the street, we'll never stop till the walls fall down and the charges drop. Free innocent fly. Amy Ashworth, playing judge and the jury in a county so dirty, soaked in fury. Police and the courts all in on the plot. They framed an innocent man and left his soul to rot. But his family's out marching, banners held high, while supporters flood timelines, refusing to lie. They want silence, we give them the storm. Truth blazing through like justice reborn. Every post, every chant, every sleepless night is a spark in the dark that's ready to ignite. This ain't just a song, it's a battle cry for every soul locked up while the guilty lie. We free Mustafa, loud through the chains. Justice corrupted, drowning in pain. From the cell block to the street, we'll never stop till the walls fall down and the charges drop. Free Mustafa, it's more than a name, it's a movement, a mission, exposing the game to Trump and Cash. Hear our cry, bring the truth to light, let the innocent fly. 2 years too long, time to rise.